Welcome to the 500th episode of the ClevelandMoto podcast. What started back in 2010 as a humble garage conversation between a few passionate motorcyclists has grown into a full-blown, two-wheeled institution. From shop talk and tech tips to rants, road trips, and a whole lot of laughs, this show has become a trusted and often hilarious voice in the moto community. Today, we're not just celebrating motorcycles, we're celebrating you, the listeners, the misfits, the wrenchers, and the riders who've been with us for the ride. Buckle up for stories, surprises, and a well-earned trip down memory lane. This is ClevelandMoto, episode 500.
All right, we got numbers.
Hey guys, and welcome to ClevelandMoto podcast, episode number 500. There was much rejoicing. 500. This is ClevelandMoto podcast number 500. We are happy to have everybody in the studio today. We have survived this for a very, 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 very long time, over 14 years doing podcasts. Light them up, boys.
Yes.
That is the sound of alcoholic beverages being opened. Oh, effervescent. Tom with the champers. Nice, my friend. Super, super cool. We're sorry for the technical delay today. We just, if you're going to pick a time for everything to go tits up, today would be the time, 500.
Well, let's say, not only did your computer not work.
Correct.
Not only did my SD card all of a sudden not work.
Correct.
And nobody had time to transfer any file. Everything went wrong that never goes wrong. Oh,
Correct.
And the whole board reset itself, and all my settings went away.
That's right.
I think it was the oil pressure sender.
It could have been that, too. Yeah.
Sleepy, I am convinced you're cursed.
The oil drain plug fell right out of the bottom of this motorcycle.
Yes, it
That
did.
is exactly what happened. Yeah, super, super great to have everybody here. We're thrilled to have everybody. It is super exciting for us. 500th anniversary or 500th episode. There will be a celebration, a party, if you will. But today, 500, we are here. We're in the basement. Everything is great. To my immediate left, we have
Sean Noel.
And to his left.
Nick Rogers.
And to his left.
Steve Sleevy.
And to his left.
Johnny Mac.
And to his left.
Speedy Pete.
And rounding the corner.
Chris Smith.
And behind the bar tonight.
Tom Pennington.
Yay! That is it. That is a very full, very well-packed podcast. What a week we have had. Anybody who's not in touch with the shop and what's going on at the shop, our Moto Guzzi showed up.
Nice.
After an 8-year hiatus, we have Moto Guzzi back in the house. We just took a momentary, just a little time out. That's all it was. People are excited. We've already had about 15 service calls. So,
That's good. You say 8-year he hate us?
Yeah. Yeah, an 8-year they hate us. Well, it's people that want to know the deal. We had some problems with them shipped us a bunch of bikes 8 years ago and that we didn't order. And, it's not bad. When you get an extra pizza and they show up at your house and they brought an extra pizza and the guy's like, you know what, we made a mistake.
Keep it.
Just keep it.
Yeah.
But when it's a $500,000 extra pizza,
Yeah.
and they expect you to pay interest on that,
Yeah.
that is not cool, man. That is 100% the worst kind of day you can have.
That's expensive
and
pizza.
Wouldn't you know, that super expensive pizza, not only was it a battle to get them to pick that up, but then even after they had picked them up and taken them out of my showroom, they didn't give me the money back for about an extra 4 months. So it took draconian measures to get us to get that $500,000 refunded to us.
Son of a bitch.
Super not great. Very, very uncool. The long and short of it is, when Guzzi got a new CEO, Piaggio got a new CEO, and I'd always said, when you guys get a new CEO, come and talk to me. But for now, forget us. Meanwhile, we have awnings that say ClevelandMoto. We have signs that say ClevelandMoto. Moto Guzzi.
Moto Guzzi.
We've got carpets that say Moto Guzzi. We are pot committed to Moto Guzzi. We have 1,100 T-shirts that say Moto Guzzi.
Oh, I just unpacked my hoodie. My Moto Guzzi ClevelandMoto hoodie.
Yeah. One of the first things I got from you when I went to Cleveland, when I came up, was that white fancy sweater that's like the Italian hand knit.
I mean, the $300 Moto Guzzi sweater?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the real thing. That exists. Even
Yeah, beanie caps, too.
we still have Moto Guzzi jackets at the shop from when they were made by Dionysi and Hein Gericke, right? That gives you an idea how much Moto Guzzi we had. So it is a very, very cool thing to have Moto Guzzi back in the house. We absolutely love it. Super great. Can't say enough about it. But what's really cool is since, I've given them 8 years to get their shit together, and they did. So back then, the stellar bike to talk about was like the V9 Bobber and the V9 Roamer, and we had the California 1400s, but everything else was like V7s that had been kicking around for a while. Well, now all the V7s are 850s. That's weird. Okay, because Tom, what's the proper name they should be called? 850s, the V7s.
I am very upset they haven't called them either the 850T, or the Le Mans.
Le Mans should have been the name.
Like there needs to be a little bikini fairing on there. It needs to be directly competitive with the Thruxton.
Black and orange, two-tone would be, absolutely
for real.
Just a V8.5.
Yeah, that's them using the Moto Morini principle, the 8.5, right? And the Stelvio and the bike I rode tonight, which is the Mandello. So that is the V100 Mandello.
Goddamn good-looking bike, too.
Oh, it's such a nice bike.
I didn't know you rode that. I was too busy
you
down
can ride
here.
it tonight?
I rode it tonight, too.
Yeah, that's right. Those got uncrated yesterday and the day before yesterday. That's how fresh they are.
Yeah.
I like the bunny ears.
Yes, so the V100 Mandello has active aero, which means that at a given speed, little panels open up in the gas tank to deflect more wind away from your body. So there's 22% less wind on you as the operator. And if you put it in rain mode, they're always deployed. The little bunny ears are always deployed. If you put it in like sport mode or touring mode, they pop out at different speeds. So it's really fun. Wow. And we got the S model of that bike, which has all the Öhlins suspension and all the super cool stuff where it has the automatic ride sensing. Very, very cool bike. A lot of really neat features on it. One of the other things that I really, really like about that particular bike is that it fits so well. You guys know that I am a maniac for the Moto Guzzi Grezzo. Like, I loved the Grezzo more than life itself. Really enjoyed the bike. Thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Now I have a new passion. The Grezzo is great. I love the Grezzo. Nothing wrong with it. But this V100 is lighter. It handles better, and it's got more power. So all those things are
sick looking, man.
It is so happy.
It's honestly ridiculously funny how Moto Guzzi went from being this, okay, we're still riding on the technology from the 70s to space age tech.
It is funny, you're right, because in 2013 and 14, 15, 16, all those bikes that we got all those years were basically just the same small block V7 motor that they've had forever, right?
Like the Brabba that I had briefly felt like a Fisher Price toy.
It did, yeah.
It was just all plastic all the time.
It was a lot of plastic. So we're super happy to have it back. And I did bring up on the screen, if anybody wants to look at it, the Stelvio in the only color you should ever buy, which is yellow, and yellow fella. And what's funny is we were talking about the Teslas and how the Teslas did not have LiDAR, right?
Yeah.
They did not have that. They were just camera-based.
No LiDAR, camera-based only, yeah.
Well, this is radar forward and back.
Yeah.
So this motorcycle has front sensing radar and it has rear sensing radar, so that if you're about to fuck yourself up or get fucked up, it gives you ample notice.
Does that one have the following?
It does.
Following cruise control too. Yeah,
it does. Yeah. So you can set your cruise control, and it has adaptive cruise control. It will maintain the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you.
Yep. And then it's got the mirror. The mirrors have the
alert
like everybody's
system.
New car has the little arrows on the side, so there's something it's a blind spot.
The little blind spot.
Yeah.
The things that alert you when something's in your blind spot. Yeah, that's on a motorcycle now. Because that happens on a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Shit gets in your blind spot.
Yeah.
So that's funny. I think it's really hilarious that Moto Guzzi, which has this history, this reputation of hit rock with stick or hit stick with rock, and now they're just like really, really nicely put together. They're really they're cool.
I mean, like I said, I go out in the garage and look at my Ambassador every now and again. I'm like, man, and then I go in the back and look at the Ambassador and I go, man, and now I'm looking at those going, man,
it is, yeah. And so that bike with all the trimmings, like the most expensive way that you can buy a Moto Guzzi right now is $17,390. And a little tip for my friends at home: talk to your dealer, especially if he's me, because there's $1,500 waiting for you to get you onto that bike. And the same holds true for the Mandello Delorio. So if you're going to get the Mandello, which is named for this town where Moto Guzzi's built, the V100, and I did order in, I pre-sold one of the V100S's, which was hilarious that my customer called up and said, hey man, you're getting Guzzi, right? I said, I sure am. And he goes, V100, please. And I said, great, I got bad news for you. I'm only ordering in the S model because the S model has the Öhlins suspension, all the delicious shit. And I said, so if you want, it's got the quick shifter, it's got all the cool things. I'm like, so if you want a non-S model, I will order you one, but it's not going to come in my first order. And the dude goes, no, I want the S model.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So I called my rep and said, good news, send two, because I'm not going to not ride one. Very, very exciting bike to have around. I'm super excited about it. You can throw the image up if you want to throw it up for the screen.
So here's a pro tip.
Yeah.
When you're getting into this bike or any bike
Yeah.
that offers Oleans as an option,
Take
it there. Because honestly, like, you're going to pay so much more if you decide later on. Like, it's insanely, like, with my Tuono, if I would, like, when I was doing the research, I couldn't find one.
Right.
But the factory one, usually if they're new, it's $2,200 more, and you get Oleans front and rear suspension. If you've ever tried to buy an Oleans anything, the rear shock is $1,800.
That's exactly right. To do the bike fully laid out with all the fun stuff, you know, with the active aero, with the quick shift transmission, with the Olean stuff, it is actually a $2,000 upgrade to get all that stuff. And what I think is also cool about it is the motorcycle is designed to have the luggage added to it without buying any brackets. To people that want to put luggage on your bike, being able to just buy boxes and put the boxes on is genius if you don't have to buy the mounting kit.
Yeah, and like with Dan's bike, it doesn't add, like, look at my Africa
Yeah.
Twin. It has a fucking ape hanger thing off the side of
does.
it just to put the bags on.
Not this.
Dan's and this, you just take it off and it's little holes and that's
If
it.
you go look at that bike outside right now, you just buy $850 worth of boxes, which, by the way, if you've ever bought boxes recently, $850 is a steal.
Oh, yeah.
For double locking boxes. And they're color match. So for $850, you get painted bike boxes that match your bike. That's not bad. So pretty cool, pretty excited about it. Really, really neat. Happy to have them back in the shop. For us, being at the shop now, having Piaggio, having Vespa, having Moto Marini, having Moto Guzzi, everything ends in a vowel. That is my idea of a well set up shop, when every motorcycle we sell ends in a vowel.
Is Saturday spaghetti night?
It is definitely. So come and go. You know, we're
Come
gonna
buy a bike and get a sausage and a
Hey, quit playing Italian Spider-Man over there. We don't need that. It is really exciting. We're super stoked about it. And then we even got a weird bike that didn't appear in the catalog, but my rep was like, I don't know if you want this. This might be something you're into. We got a V7 Stone that actually has a chrome gas tank. And it's not in the order sheet. like I looked on the website. I went to the website.
That's that free pizza you were talking about.
That was the free pizza we're talking about. And it is really weird. So we got two of them. We got this special edition one that is so gorgeous. And this one comes with the aero exhaust already on it. It comes with the bar end mirrors.
If you squint, that looks like a Harley.
Except the motor is sideways, Pete. The motor is put in wrong.
That's a squinting part.
It is a squinting part.
If I squint, it looks like a CX500.
There you go.
Oh.
Well, Honda does it in the
Man.
vowel.
Chicken, egg. You're just not sure. We're close to Easter. It's one of those things.
I'm going Moto Guzzi.
I'm going with a Guzzi. Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty excited. It's a cool thing, and for us, it's a weird homecoming. You know, it's that kind of. We were uncrating the bikes the other day, and as we're uncrating the bikes, every time we'd open up a box for a new Moto Guzzi, it was very exhilarating. You're like, oh. And Moto Guzzi holds their bikes in the crates with the best straps ever, like the best quality straps, like.
Do they say Moto Guzzi on them?
They don't.
Oh.
But they are the exact right size. So you clip it to your waist size and it becomes the most handy dandy belt you've ever owned.
Well, you know
It
what I
is-
like?
yeah.
The other crates that had little orange
Yes.
dudes that come in there, those are good for the front wheel
They
wrap.
are,
Like when
yes.
you're, doing whatever. They're perfect.
They are perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was very happy that we got the bikes, and it was just nice to open the crates up. And they do still put Moto Guzzi on the outside of the crates. So my customers, we cut them out carefully so people have them. It's a Harley that drank a case of wine. Thank you, Moto Smith Garage. It is a Harley that drank a case of wine. It's a really, really interesting thing. And that's an 850cc motorcycle that's going to be pinging your wallet for about $7,900, give or take, right?
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, so if you get the discounts, which you should, call your local friendly dealer. They'll make sure that you don't pay too much for it, because again, all these bikes are pre-tariff. So no matter what happens in the form of tariffs, whether you're talking about, a little 10% tariff, or you're talking about a big old monster 25% tariff on vehicles, or God forbid if it turns into a reciprocal tariff, 35% or more, no, these bikes were all at the low price. So these bikes are all bought before the tariff.
Can I give a shout out to my buddy Don Slicker? We know him from down at Mid-Ohio.
Hell yeah.
A lot of Cincinnati people would know him.
Yeah, we love Don.
I was talking with him this evening, told him to check it out. He says he's watching.
Oh, very cool, Don. A big hi, how you doing to Don Slicker. Super, super cool guy. We dig Don Slicker a lot. That is as far as we're concerned, the people that we meet through the podcast and the people that we meet at Mid-Ohio, this is why we keep coming back.
Right. Hey, going back to the little V's that you were talking about there. The one that we saw at the AIM show, the white one, is that available to public? The V100 with the S, because that white one is sick.
The white one is cool, but right now you'll have to bear with. I'm gonna look at my availability. Just gonna take a second, find out if that color is available for us in the V100S.
Now, don't get me wrong. The other colorway was no slouch either.
No, it wasn't.
But the white one was outstanding.
The white looked great. So, just like we were talking about earlier, the Stelvio comes in two colors. Yellow and boring. Right. So you buy the yellow one. And the Mandello S comes in the green, the Tenny green, which is the color you should buy, and then it comes in gray, which is the Grigio Avanguardia. And that is the color you don't want to buy. So then if you buy the Mandello No S, then you have the option of the red or the polar white, if you want to throw that up. That's the white colored bike. Where'd it go? Okay, well, there's the red. That's the red.
Red does look good.
There's the red.
That's sexy.
Gucci's always look good in red. That is a factual statement. And then there is the white right there. So there's the white. The white looks particularly smooth and clean.
Yeah. It doesn't do itself justice on there.
It does look like a Stormtrooper. Yeah. And I love that they have the orange highlight behind the gills on the gas tank, and the gills are what open when you're at speed or in the rain.
I think they should have done that on the Valve car.
The infamous the Moto Guzzi, when they did the 1400 California, they did a couple of different versions of it that had red valve covers, and I was like, that is the most fucking whorish thing you could ever do, is just paint the valve covers red. You would not believe the number of customers I sold 1400s to, and they came in and was like, man, I need to set them red valve covers. I'm like, you can buy the red valve covers.
Okay, that's a slow clap.
Yeah, look at that. Nomad CF just threw us 50 whole doll hairs, $50 to keep us doing what we're doing. Happy 500th episode.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you kindly.
Yeah,
I'll drink to that.
That is a very, very cool thing. We certainly do appreciate it. These 500 episodes, this has not been something that's been hard to do. This has been something that's been fun to do.
Oh, I look forward to this every week.
Me too. Yeah. I really do. And it's funny because Thursday, I'm getting the show notes together now that we've got it locked in on Thursday night. Right? So Thursday, I come into work in the morning, and my whole drive to work this morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, my brain is like, what are we going to do in the podcast? What are we going to do in the podcast? Every single Thursday. And then throughout the course of the day, I'm pinging customers that come in. Hey, would you think about this would be interesting or that would be interesting? And in the old days, we would just get drunk, turn the mics on, and whatever happened. And that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Grainger's here for you with professional-grade supplies. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
But I don't think we're far from that, though. Really. I mean, I know Cinch would disagree, but
okay. So Phil plans and I go crazy, but everybody else just have
no. Craft services.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
We have craft services. We have an entire Ratskeller to play around in.
Chris does research his jokes.
Right?
So he's still working hard.
Oh, so
working hard.
By the way, last week's podcast. AKA the Marathon of Madness. The last 5 minutes of the podcast was probably the best radio anybody's listened to in a long time. Just letting Chris go fucking hog wild with the jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was rapid fire. It was standing down range of humor. It was really great.
But you know what, though? I think if we really want to talk about it, though, it was due.
It was due.
He has been a lot light. It has been very light of Smith jokes.
Yeah.
I think he realized it, and then he brought the heat.
He did bring the heat.
Yeah.
Well, I think the correct term for that is redemption.
Yes.
Yeah, that was redemption. He fucking redeemed
Actually,
himself.
the right word for that is theft.
He laughed. He laughed the beard right off his face. Did you notice?
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a secret about military intelligence. It's cut and paste. You take information from here and you put it there. What you've done is the same thing all the best tacticians do. It's the same thing all the best writers do. Cut and paste is fine by me, man. Yeah. You don't have to have come up with the idea yourself. You just need to let me in on it.
Right.
Well, an Irish kid goes to his grandfather and says, "Can I have $5 for a guinea pig?" Grandfather says, "Look, here, take $10 to get a nice Irish girl."
I'll take the guinea pig.
Oh,
Yikes.
Yikes is right. Damn. Oh, that is fire. If you look down at the screen, the lower screen, if you're at home and you look down, you're going to see our friend Dave Swearingen standing with the beautiful Miss Renee and myself, and we are standing in front of the Calibro that he bought. So that is a man right there with his brand new Motomarini in that shot. If you take a look down there, it's pretty cool. I thought that was fun. Super fun, super cool. The fact that we meet people and keep meeting people through the podcast, and we keep meeting people from the shenanigans that we do every year, and we invite people to come and hang out with us, it's just fucking more fun.
Yeah.
This guy showed up today to steal lithium.
I did.
Oh, nice.
I did.
Oh, let's hear the story.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
And can we get an introduction
didn't
to?
quite draw it together.
Go ahead, Nick. Tell him your story.
Oh, jeez.
So, Nick, where are you from?
So I came over from West Point, Nebraska. That's where I'm from.
Nice.
That's just down the road a piece.
It is, yeah. Yep.
How long did it take you to drive to pick up some lithium?
A long time. And then you factor in the time change of going backwards, and I don't know. I gave up about 2 this morning and stopped in Toledo for a nap.
There you go.
Was that pharmaceutical lithium?
I don't
Could
know.
be.
There's mood enhancement involved, but only after it's on fire.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So the background is a little bit. He's just not a guy that likes lithium. Okay, let's just clarify.
not traditionally, no. So what I work for a company called Hyman Fire Equipment based out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And what we're going to do is, well, in the whole world of EV everything, fire service has always been behind the gun. It was always this is what we're going to do, and we'll figure it out as we go.
As we go.
So that technology has progressed now, and we've been familiarized with the product on the market now that can mitigate a lithium fire. So basically what it'll do is it'll take the lithium ion battery and change it into a lithium salt. So it'll basically, because that's the only way that you're going to prevent or stop that thermal runaway is make the battery not a battery anymore.
Right.
So
And I remember from like the drone days, man, when those
Yeah.
suckers go off hard, dude.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I had a 16,000 milliamp 6S pack go up, and I thought I was going to take down the whole fucking warehouse we were in. It was crazy. I'm not kidding, man. Those things.
It had potential.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny too when you get to watch lithium go crazy. You know, when you get to watch that, sudden heat event,
Yep.
right? When you see that, you're like, what the hell? Like, that is an insanely violent thing. I mean, that is crazy, crazy violent. And it is it's one of those items that lithium's all great when you're playing with it and it's staying where it should be, but you get it too angry and it just gets ugly super fast. I mean, it's devastating how bad lithium is once it starts getting going. But the other thing too is there really isn't a good way to put it out.
No.
Like at this point, there's really no amount of foam. There's no amount of like, we're going to put a blanket over it. It's self-energizing.
It's going to do what it's going to do until that fuel is spent.
Yeah. When I was in the military, there was a product called white phosphorus that we were never allowed to be anywhere near. They'd used it excessively during World War I and II and Vietnam and Korea, but it's the worst thing on the planet.
Greek fire.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and we're sitting there and we're handling these silly banana-colored grenades, right? These silly light green-colored things, and we're like, what is this? And they're like, just put that down now. It was all so terrifying because once it starts, you can't stop it.
So just like you're saying, like all these batteries. I was telling people about how crazy they are when they fucking explode.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I had this pack, and so like it was kind of a deader pack, and I'm like, oh, this will be great. I'm going to make all these guys impressed with this little, little thing. And I pop a nail through it, and like, usually that produces awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And this particular pack was like,
There was a fart.
like it looks like a whiff of smoke came out the top. They're like, ooh, yeah, I'd be really terrified of that.
Terrified. Absolutely. We've been present when people hook the wrong kind of a charger up.
Oh, yeah.
To a really small motorcycle battery and that kind of thing, where they're like, the customer said, and I quote, well, I didn't ask whether or not the bike had a lithium battery in it, and I didn't think that I had to ask if the bike had a lithium battery in it, and I hooked a traditional, a battery charger to it. Yeah, lead acid. Unfortunately, the battery charger has, the typical one that has the picture of a truck and the picture of a tractor and the picture of a motorcycle on the side, which basically means those 3 switch positions really all do the same exact thing. They all just send 15 volts down the line and super fast in a hurry. And yeah, when you send 15 volts at 20 amps down the line into a lithium battery, if it doesn't have circuitry built in to shut itself off right quick in a hurry, you are going to have a fire in your garage. And this guy burned down his whole bike. And the worst part was he hooked it up and he walked away and thought life was good. And then he ended up burning his entire garage down because that fire was that way. He tried to get in the garage to get the car out, but the fire was too intense. There's a video of a guy carrying a electric bicycle battery in an elevator. So he goes into the elevator with an electrical bicycle battery. It flashes over, and before the elevator gets to his floor, he is dead on the ground in the elevator because that event happened so fast. There was a security camera video in the elevator, and you see the doors till the elevator close. The doors are closed for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. A large flash burning happens in the battery pack he's holding in his hands. He doesn't even have time to drop the battery pack before the camera is completely whited out. There's nothing he could have done. And that trip of 4 floors was enough to take his life away from him.
That's some Final Destination shit.
It is Final Destination. We're talking about for a bicycle. A battery for a bicycle.
That's nothing to do with a pressure change, is it?
No, it has everything to do with when you take...
It gets an air leak and...
When you take a battery out of service, batteries either go on fuego when you are just adding electricity to them or you take the load away from them. So one of the two things destabilizes the battery. And it's usually when you add electricity to it that it destabilizes the battery. But just as many people have lost their real estate when they take the batteries out of something, because all of a sudden they are stepping away from a battery management system that may be in the vehicle.
So it's not that they get air in this. It's like because he punctures the cell or whatever. Yeah. I thought they got air, like somehow they get a leak in the pack, and once air hits it, it starts going off.
It could even be in the act
oxygen,
of removing the battery from your motorcycle or your bicycle.
You nick it or something.
Pulling it out, you just bridge the contacts lightly, and that's enough to make it go boom. And they're so violent when they go. And even a little one, or in this case, the guy had a little 7 amp hour lithium in his bike, and it was so not great. Now, here's a pro tip for you. I bet you didn't know. The Parts Unlimited lithium batteries, which I don't know whose brand they're using, but Parts Unlimited sells them. They have a little button on them. You press a little button. It tells you the condition or the state of the battery. That's super handy, right? And when I use them at the shop, when I'm prepping bikes, I need some electricity to go into the bike to open the seat and do the things while I'm prepping the service battery, but I have to open the seat up to get to the service battery, right? So I need a little tiny power source, and nothing's better than adorable little lithium battery, 12 volts, size of a pack of cigarettes, totally handy, great to have around. So yesterday, I'm prepping a bike, and I always just reach in with my bare hands and I touch the positive and the negative to the terminals on the battery because it's done that a bunch of times. It doesn't shock me, right? And I do that, but this time my brain had fucked up and I had positive going to negative and negative going to positive. Uh-oh. Now, normally in these bikes, what that would mean is you just let all the smoke out of a 30 amp fuse, right? And I've done it a bunch of times. I'm good at it. And I even know where they keep the 30 amp fuse, right? So that's not a big deal. But this time when I did it, it made one momentary spark. And I mean, it was just a quickie. And it didn't pop the 30 amp fuse. Why? Because the fucking battery has a switch inside it. So there's a battery management system inside that battery. And wouldn't you know that functioned before the 30 amp fuse functioned in the bike.
It had a 29 amp fuse.
No, 29 and a half.
Well, I can tell you it was
less than 30.
It was lightning quick. And what was great is that I had a great sense of security now, knowing that battery is stupid proof, because most of our AGM batteries that we use have no circuitry whatsoever, and the customer hooks it up backwards or hooks a jumper cable to it wrong or hooks up his battery tender leads wrong, and you pop the main fuse, right? If you're lucky.
Did it reset itself?
It did. It took a minute. So 1 minute later, it completely reset itself, and nobody would know I just did something stupid. I got away with it, as I say.
Hey, we got a question.
They're just always assuming.
Did the G400C go out the door today? No, Mr. Swearingen, it did not go out the door today, but we do have a podcast listener from Kansas who says that he's going to come to the DGR, buy that bike for $3,500, and ride that thing home to Kansas after the DGR. And I couldn't be happier.
Wow.
I think that's just the greatest idea ever.
That's cool, man.
That is a great, super great idea.
I hope he brings a dapper outfit.
He better. It's DGR, man. I mean, he's riding a pretty dapper bike. So riding a dapper bike, but it's super nice. It is fun to dress up for DGR.
I think I'm going to have to rearrange my schedule to get that in, because I'll work it out.
Your boss was here and said it was okay.
Well, yeah, but
Your boss did say that.
He always says that.
Yeah, but
He always says that until it's go time.
Speaking of dapper outfits, Sleepy.
Well, it's a special occasion.
Like Pinky Tuscadero.
It is really, you really did. Earned that.
I added flair.
You did add flair. I like that. You have at least 4 pieces of flair.
That's right.
Ric Flair.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got?
To be fair.
To be fair. Oh, everybody's got a drink now. Thanks, Oster Day. Yeah. To be fair. Yeah. So super fun today. Amongst the other things that happened, which today was kind of, in and of itself, it was pretty cool. Somebody showed up at my shop. At the end of Ferris Bueller, he says, life moves at you pretty fast. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss it. That's a good statement. And the reason that's a good statement is today at like 11:01, like open plus 1 minute, we get a phone call from a guy, and he says, "You're an Aprilia dealer." And I said, "No, we haven't been an Aprilia dealer for quite a long time." And he goes, "Oh, man." He goes, "You guys buy motorcycles?" I said, "Yeah, I buy motorcycles against my will sometimes." And he goes, "Well, yeah, I've been trying to call the Aprilia dealer all day today, but they won't return my calls. And I'm trying to sell my bike." And I said, "Well, what do you have?" And buying an Aprilia can be a sketchy operation. It can be a sketchy thing. Like, I'm not just going to say, like, you should always buy the Aprilia. No. This is like dating a stripper. 99% of the time, it's going to hurt, right? But 1% of the time, it's going to be awesome.
Does the name of the bike end with "Me Timbers"?
Yes, it does, actually. Thank you very much. He calls up and he says he's got a 2008 Aprilia Shiver 750.
Me Timbers.
And what's funny is there was a period of time when Aprilia, who lost money every time they sold one of these bikes. I mean, this was Piaggio putting Piaggio money into Aprilia.
That's the Naked Mana, right?
Go ahead, Sleepy can pull it up and throw it up if he likes. We have that feed going out. There it is. So there it is. You have a V-twin. You have a whole bucket of valves. You got 8 valves. Liquid cooled, 6-speed transmission. It is fly-by-wire. It uses the same Aprilia dashboard that they all do. The people who own Aprilias are shady. Yes, this is also true. That is definitely
They're
a thing.
scumbags.
It can be a thing. It can be a weird deal.
I learned an Indian word today. It was chambri.
Chambra?
Yeah, it's kind of like the word for ghetto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy at the liquor store was telling, because he was speaking Indian, and I was like, "Can I try to say what you were just saying?" And I was like, "Chambre gabada." And he's like, "Chambre means this guy on the phone, he's chambre. Wears his pants too low and stuff."
Oh, really?
So yeah, you're chambre.
Chambre. The guy called up and he said he wanted to sell the bike, and the funny thing was, this is an 08. And I said, "Well, you got to bring it by the shop. I like these bikes anyway, but if
It looks cool.
Aprilia had a bunch of these left over, and Aprilia was selling these to the dealers. We were buying these bikes for about $5,000, right?
That's an automatic.
No, this is not.
Oh, okay. So it's not a Mana.
No, the Mana was their 850, and the Mana was a CVT-based automatic with a little electronic trickery going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Aprilia 850 was the Mana. This is their as light as they can make it.
Supposedly it was like a track bike.
Interestingly enough, do you know who designed this? The same guy that designed the Ducati Monster. And that's why they look like they share a little DNA. But yeah, that's what this is. And it's, it's got the Aprilia fly-by-wire. There's nothing about this bike that's bad. In fact, it was sort of designed down so that they could sell a whole shit ton of them. They designed this to go after the SV650 crowd, the Monster 900 crowd. That was the idea. And it's cool. It's got undertail exhaust. It's all stainless steel. It's a pretty badass bike. He brought it in, and the negotiations ensued. It's got 2 little scratches on the back area, probably from him getting on and off the bike wearing his Jenkos or something. This guy had facial tattoos, and I don't mean 2. This guy was in a running with Post Malone.
Oh,
like
he fell asleep at a frat party, and somebody had a really nice Sharpie.
This was like if somebody falls asleep at one of our rallies with the boots on.
Yeah,
and you're like, dude, if you got your boots on, we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
If you take your boots off, I will protect you to the end of the world. You meant to sleep.
Right.
If your boots are off, you intended to sleep. I will protect you. If anybody comes near you with a Sharpie, they're going down. But if your boots are on and you're just straight up passed out by the fire, I have Sharpies for all my friends. You are going to leave here looking like modern art. But the guy showed up. It's this exact color scheme. It's pretty nice. I took the bike out for a ride. Negotiations ensued.
Let's not uphold that rule on the podcast.
Yeah.
Please. Let me get my boots up.
Yeah.
Wait, whatever happened?
You meant to do that.
We used to have the pink dildo of shame whenever we fell asleep.
Yes.
What happened to
I don't know. We lost the pink dildo of shame.
I think John probably hit it somewhere.
Probably
The dildosaurus is right back there. It's permanently perched behind my head.
I ended up giving $1,900 American for this bike.
19, okay.
$1,900 American for this motorcycle. You were the closest. $1,900 US for a clean title, a bike that runs absolutely great. It's got a brand new lithium battery in it.
Would you like your third shiver? Guy just posted he's had 2.
So we have a shiver. We have a very
great.
and if you guys are out there buying motorcycles, this thing jumped in my boat, man. This bike jumped in my fucking boat. There is absolutely no doubt that I did not work hard to buy this bike. The negotiations were painless. Unfortunately, he needed the money real bad because he was going to buy a 2001 CBR 600 F4i.
They really went out of their way to get that undertail exhaust all the way wrapped underneath and up.
They sure did. Yeah, there is a lot of architecture happening under there.
He's going to a 2001.
I said the exact same thing, Sleepy.
And how many miles are on that one?
More than this. This one's got 10K on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one he's going to buy has got 20K on it.
Does he realize that's not a super exciting bike?
He's walking backwards. No, he saw
Sleepy.
Yeah.
We already questioned his life choices about the facial tattoos. I don't think we need to go any further.
I can't question a guy about tattoos. That's not
no. Questioning a guy about tattoos is one thing. There's a life choice involved when a cop can identify you from the facial tattoos.
It's
one of the rules.
Yeah, it is a tough thing to be the guy that decides I'm going to have tattoos on my face because that's a tough one for anybody to look at you and just be like, oh yes, this guy's totally normal. All right, this is going to be fine.
I've never been worried of cops identifying me.
Well, that's because you don't have facial tattoos. Or neck tattoos.
The thing about the Aprilia is I've managed to dodge this bike. This bike has tried to get, not this particular bike, but Aprilia Shiver 750s have tried to get in my life at least 5 times, including my rep one time contacted me and said, hey, if you'll buy a 6-pack of Aprilia Shivers, we'll give you a screaming deal. And I was like, that's a lot of Shivers. And I did. I'm the guy that bought more than one Mana 850 because it was a screaming deal. And it was not the easiest thing in the world. Again, Steve Hoffert for the win, grumpy sewer guy, buys a bike that I'm pretty sure I thought it was cool, so I put an expensive windshield on it. I thought it was cool, so I put color match expensive bags on it. I thought it was cool, so I did some cool stuff to it. And then I realized I'm the only guy who thinks it's cool. And then Steve Hoffert walks in. And then I realized
he loved that bike.
He
and he was
loved it.
looking him up. He was, every once in a while, he'd be like, oh, there's a mana on Marketplace. Blah, blah, blah.
if I got this bike for $1,900, you should not pay more than $1,100 for a Mana. And that is a factual statement. You should not pay more than $1,100.
And I think that's the second reason he probably loved them, because they were cheap.
Cheap as hell. And the bike that I sold him was also a get rid of this bike, dealer special. Like, they were 9,000 or something brand new, and I think I was buying those bikes at like $5,500 or something. So,
Don't get me wrong. We
Yeah.
all like cheap and good. So,
Right.
I mean, who doesn't?
Well, let me ask you this. Because, as we know, Aprilia's, they have their wonderful motors and things.
Yeah.
But then they also have I'd like to maintain this. Oh, excellent. Your parts cost is $1,400.
Yes.
What do you mean? No, I don't. Nothing's broke. No. That's just the gaskets and things.
Yeah, this bike has 6,000 miles left
Yeah.
until somebody has to find out how expensive doing the valves is.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, though. And that bike might not be too bad. I can tell you on the Tuono, it's bad. It's
I know
not
it's
a fun
bad.
job.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
That's why I no longer have a Tuono.
Yeah, this motor was used in a bunch of different bikes.
Oh, I didn't know the Tuono went away.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Oh, yeah. I have a whole race team now.
Which is hilarious. You lost an Aprilia Tuono, so you
Yes.
lost a 1,000cc bike.
Yes.
And you've picked up two 650s. Or two 636s.
Well, 636s,
right,
yeah.
which is pretty great.
Well, the funny part is my race bike now is my newest motorcycle. It's a 2022.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It is your newest motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That your race bike is the freshest bike in your garage.
Yeah.
Does it have a title and a license plate and stuff, or no?
It has a title, no plate. It's not been registered. It's always been a track bike. It has 4,000 miles on it. It's nice.
Oh, wow.
And it had the battery. This battery was like fucking this big. It looks like a ice cube.
It has 4,000 miles, aka 1,800 laps.
Yeah. Well, no, the kid. No,
Right.
I'm sorry. He put 3,000 miles on the road.
Oh, he did?
And then 1,000 miles on the track. And here's the thing: all the stuff that when they said, "Oh, I like that. I'm going to make it a track bike."
Right.
And then I think he got sex. And so they didn't finish. I started
Right.
looking at it, and I started adding up all the shit that's on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't notice that it has the ECU relocation tray.
Right.
That's $200.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice it had the Graves actual fucking things. That's $400. Oh, I didn't notice it had these. I knew it had rear sets, but I didn't look up which ones. And then they're like the Mastercraft 695. He has the whole fairing kit that actually holds the front of the fairing on properly with the aluminum shit, not
Really?
just the stock shit. And then the fairings themselves are tailor-made fairings. They're really hard to get, but the kit's like $1,900
Oh, yeah, it's
just
not
for
cheap.
the fucking fairings. So now I had to get real paint. So I'm going to actually paint it nice,
you should.
because you have to.
I have
at
a
that
question.
point. Yeah.
So you think this motorcycle is a 2022?
Yeah.
It's a 636.
Yeah.
It is literally the track day bike for thinking people.
Yes.
Right. If you're thinking about getting a track day bike, this is the right bike. to buy.
129 horsepower,
Yeah.
up to 140 with the tune.
Yeah.
Tires will last 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Things with even my body weight.
Right.
If you're a stick, it'll last a whole season.
Right.
On a thing. I got Metzler track day tires, TD track day.
T-days.
So like,
Yeah.
I saw those little baloney skins you had for it.
oh, dude, there's something about getting your first set of slicks.
Did it come with tire warmers?
It did, and
No way.
so the dude gave me tire warmers. He goes, yeah, and this is why I know he never went back out.
Yeah.
He was like, you can have them, man. Like, you have to send them in. They're totally blown out, but they'll fix each one for like $65. And tire warmers are like $800.
They're $800,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
But I was like, before I send them in, let me plug these fuckers
Let's
in.
plug 'em in.
And I plug them in, and they got so hot I couldn't hold them, which doesn't tell you a lot because it needs to be a certain temperature.
Yeah.
So I stuck them on the tires, left them there for like 30 minutes. It was 190 degrees.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like,
These are not blown out.
No. So,
they're
yeah.
working perfectly.
yeah, so I got those too.
That's insane. So this bike, which is legitimately by anybody in this room standards, a brand new motorcycle.
Yeah.
How much money is in this thing? I mean, $800 for the tire warmers. You
Well,
got
dude,
$2,000 worth of body
Let me
work.
put it this way: go look on Marketplace for a 2022 ZX6 with under
Right.
any miles.
Oh, yeah.
they're still like $9,000.
They're $9,000. Yeah, $9,000 for a low mileage
And then add the
636.
fairings, add the things. What was happening? I can tell you what was happening because the kid came with his dad.
Yeah.
The dad was all over the Tuono.
Yeah.
So I think the dad was he was the one that was grabbing the Tuono. The kid was just wanting to get home to go play with whatever girl he figured out was
Right.
his new thing.
Yeah.
He was cool. I'm not dogging him at all.
But
He was
that's-
a super nice kid.
right.
But like he was a young kid.
So maybe him racing was dad's idea,
Maybe.
and maybe the kid's just like, yeah, I'm just not into racing anymore.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
let me put it this way: the fairings Like they really did not finish it.
How
Like,
old was the kid?
I mean, I'm
Young
saying
20s?
kid, yeah,
Young 20s?
young 20s.
So that wasn't his money in that 636. No, that was Dad's money.
Yeah, yeah.
That was Dad's money, and Dad doesn't want to restreet the 636.
No, and here's the thing: when he sent me pictures, we were going back and forth a little bit. I just want to make sure I wasn't getting,
Yeah.
And I mean the bike. I traded a good bike. It was like a solid bike.
Absolutely.
And I was honest with him. I'm like, hey, it's going to need some valve adjustments. So he's like, I got
Right.
mechanics, whatever.
That's good.
When they sent the pictures, it was from a storage unit with the bike that I got sitting there.
Yeah.
But also like a million other bikes.
Oh, okay.
So like I don't think they were hurting. Like
They weren't hurting,
I
yeah.
saw an Adventure like 1290, and I saw blah 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 in the corner and stuff.
There's a whole lot of money hanging around that garage.
Yeah.
But that's good for them. I'm glad that they got the bike.
Well, I'm
that
glad
they
I
wanted.
got.
And you got the
happy.
deal of the century.
Yeah, so I should be able to get through some decent days without.
I've never in my life track dayed. No, I have track dated new bikes, but I've never owned a bike that I was going to campaign that was that new.
Right.
Usually for me, a campaign bike is like it's 10 years old with a salvage title.
Oh, I was looking at my 20-year-old one going, this
Yeah.
is sweet. I'm good. This is awesome. I'm going to be fine for the rest of my life. And then I really thought about it. I'm like, okay, if I'm actually going to be doing this and I'm saving
Right.
up for it and stuff, if I have the Tuono sitting there, I know me. I'm an idiot. And I'm
Exactly.
going to go out and I'm going to be dumb on it. And then I'm going to have to pay a ticket. Then I can't do track days. And
More importantly, you're going to be in the hospital.
well, that too. Right. Yeah.
The track is the nicest place to crash because everybody's going the same direction.
Right.
And you can slide on pea gravel forever. Like
And then
a
see-
kitty litter.
And I've got
jump
down
right up.
the BMW I won't be stupid on because the BMW app records everything. So I'm just like, see, there's evidence of
There's
being
evidence
stupid
of
on
being
that thing.
stupid
So
on
that's-
that
I'll
bike.
just be smooth with the BMW.
Nice.
So,
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I'm
Should
very
be all
happy
right.
for you.
Thank you.
That's really cool. That's great. I was nervous about you street racing.
yeah, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I was nervous for you. I just
So what track are you going to take this to?
Well, I'm doing Nelson's Ledges. That's coming up in the end of May. I'm trying to do Mid Ohio.
Like while we're there for middle?
No,
No.
it's the
Dude,
Superbike. It's the week. It's the
Week
day after
after.
Superbike weekend.
Oh.
So it'd be the
you gonna
Monday
go
of
through
that.
fast tracks?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
fast tracks at Nelson's, and then there's Pit Race, and they have a thing called N2 at
N2.
Pit Race, and then I think they do what's the one in Michigan? Gratitan, something like that. Gratitan.
And you know what I love about Pitt? Pittsburgh International Raceway, aka Beaver Run. It's always going to be Beaver Run to me. It'll just
Yeah.
be Beaver Run for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I love that track.
It
and
is.
That is one of my absolute favorite tracks. I think Mid Ohio is my favorite track, and I think Beaver Run is my second favorite track. But I haven't been on Nelson's now that it's resurfaced.
I'd love to try to help support you when you go down there. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is going to try to go with you or anything, but
No,
whatever.
just be me. I'm just gonna be lonely, sad, pushing my bike.
I have a generator to run your
Oh yeah,
your warmers.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you like who makes. I have to figure out how many amps I need.
I think
over
you
watts
need.
or-
The
I think
Harbor
you need.
Freight one's 2,000.
I think you need 3,000 watts to run those warmers.
I have a
You think
bigger
so?
one.
Because I mean, it's basically you're running an oven. Is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like a
That's why
heater,
guys-
a heater is like 1,500 watts.
Correct.
So if you have a 2,000 or 22, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
We'll have to try it. That'll be something we can try.
yeah.
Okie dokie.
Look, there's a reason guys fight to be within extension cord range of the hot pits. Like, so when you go to race and you're going, or you can go for a track school, guys will get there super duper early. And with their 400 feet of extension cords. Oh God, Marcel Thompson, you want another Tuono? I'm looking at that green V100S. No, I don't want another Tuono. Sleepy might be interested in another Tuono.
No, I'm good right now. I got 130 horsepower to kill myself on the track with.
I
I'm
believe the
fine with
question
that.
is. I believe the question is how badly does he want the V1?
What I can tell you, so every bike I buy,
What's your price?
Right, what's your price? Yeah, well, I can be forced to ride a Tuono for a while. Every time I take a bike in trade, I don't look at it like how excited am I going to be to ride this bike for 3 weeks. What I look at is how excited are people going to be to buy this bike from me in 4 weeks when I'm done having fun with it. So I'm going to have fun with it for 3 weeks. I'm going to go through and fiddle with it and tighten this and adjust this and screw with that. And then after 3 or 4 weeks, it's got to earn its money back. It needs to be on the hoof, man. So for me, I absolutely look at every single motorcycle like, well, there's the price that I'm going to come up off of today, and then there's the price it needs to bring back through the door in a month.
Before Merritt,
Yeah.
were your girlfriends like that? Like, okay, it's been 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
You got to start earning.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good record. I think every girl I've ever dated has a PhD. So it was like, so not for much, but I was always holding them back.
You're a brain digger.
I am a brain digger. I've never heard. I've never heard that phrase before. It is so true.
All I've got is the D.
It is so when you look.
I was just trying to make a Phil's stable joke in my head, and this just blew it out of the water.
It's just, it is a really, really weird thing. But
they got to earn their money.
That's better bring me my money. That's it. Go ahead.
I had an idea before we get into the next thing.
Yeah.
For an actual 500th episode
Popping
thing.
like it's hot.
Everybody has to say their favorite episode or favorite moment.
Oh my God!
From the last time.
That's some
like
crazy
the
homework.
last however
yeah,
time
that's some crazy homework. I don't know if I could even do that. I honestly don't. When I go back and I
think 151's my crowning achievement.
I think 151 is definitely a hard one to beat. That one started off the rails and it got worse.
I'm never going to live down the Mr. Black Knight. So.
No, Mr. Black Knight was a tough night for you, Tom.
Yeah,
that was a
hard one.
Teslas are rusted.
Cybertrucks are rusted.
I like the build-off night. The live build-off night thing was fun.
The live build-off night. So we recently got a flock of pit bikes into the shop. So we recently got a flock of pit bikes, and they have to be built, man. That's just all there is to it. They don't fucking build themselves. And those little painful metal crates. Then when those painful Chinese metal crates show up, I will let those cocksuckers sit in the hallway. I'll let them barrel age. I just build no bike before it's time.
I think you had 2022 Benelli TNT 135s there in the back.
So,
do you have a boat that you put them on and let them boat age?
That would have made them better.
They're oh so sweet when they're boat aged. However, it took me getting an apprentice. Mm-hmm. So we actually got Sarah from the MotoGo program. She was the hero of the MotoGo program, and we hired her. So she comes in on Saturdays because she's still a student, right? Mm-hmm. So she comes in on Saturdays. Her parents checked it out. This is not like I just abducted an 18-year-old. She shows up, and she's ready to work.
She was just standing at the bus stop outside.
Yeah, right? What do you know? 18-year-old girl standing at the bus stop. Go figure. So she shows up, and the first thing I do is we got two Benelli crates in the hallway because I got like 6 or 8, maybe 10 Benelli TNT 135s left over, right? Because I bought a metric shit ton of them. When the price was right, I jumped, and I got a lot of them. And people like them, and they do sell occasionally. Now that there's no stimmy check monies, that slowed down quite a bit. So there's 2 crates in our hallway that we are using like a shelving unit. And we just keep stacking shit on them, right? And so I'm like, oh no, we have a human coming in here who's an apprentice who really would be good for her to understand how motorcycles go together. Mm-hmm. And there ain't no better way to learn how a motorcycle goes together than to have yourself a 1-to-1 scale motorcycle model, right? And so we cleaned everything off. We pulled them out of the hallway. We pulled them out of the tunnel, brought them in. She went to town. And the first one we did in parallel. I did one, she did one, right? So we did one, and I was doing it on this bike, and she was doing it on that bike, and she got it. And I'm fucked up because Merritt was like, just make her write down all the steps so she can refer back to that. But then we were halfway into it, and I realized I didn't tell her to write down the steps. Didn't need to. The second one came out. She did it completely unsupervised. Fucking awesome, right? Mm-hmm. So she nailed it. Didn't have to go and double, triple check her. She's Loctiting the things that need Loctited. She's got it figured out. So I was like, that's great. So we rip through, I think, 4 of those Benelli TNT 135s.
Yeah, it took you no time at all. It took her no time
at all. She's just knocking them out. And so
she might be better than you.
She's faster than Chris Smith.
Because Chris Smith has to keep asking questions. He's not writing anything down.
Glad he's not just sitting here at the table.
Actually, we've had a number of people that work for us do prep Benelli TNT 135s.
That were also faster than Chris Smith?
And no.
All right.
She's got it figured out, right?
Piling on.
So we don't need to do that. Well, but what's funny though is
we don't need to, but
when we were done with the Benelli TNT 135s,
all out of love,
magically pallets show up full of pit bikes. So we get a couple of 70s, a couple of 110s, a couple of 125s, and we are just all of a sudden we have more small Chinese crates than we know what to do with. So I huck them all and I throw them in the hallway, knowing that on Saturday Sarah's going to be here. So Saturday went from a relatively easy Benelli TNT 135 prep to Satan's own Chinese bike in a box. Mm-hmm. And these things, one, do not expect instructions. They don't do that. And the ones that you guys all built in the bike build off, those were all SSR 125s. They were very kind of obvious, I think. I think John's still building his. Yeah, maybe.
That's a good. I got a couple drywall screws I got to shoot in.
So when they showed up, so I had her start with the 70cc. It's the smallest, right? Because it's more like a Lego kit. Have her start with that, kind of get her through the first one, and then I walk away and I'm like, now keep in mind, I've now showed you the basics. You know where all the tools are. She's in my service area. So she's in my, inside the showroom prep area, which is fairly well organized. And we keep it neat. The tools are where they're supposed to be. So she dives in, she does the 70, and I'm like, when you're done with the 70, come and get me, and I will inspect your work, and I will proceed to make you feel bad about yourself. So I'm selling bikes, doing what I do on Saturdays. She comes and gets me. Hey, Phil, come and take a look at this. She did it. No notes. No notes. I have no idea how long it took her. I didn't put a stopwatch on because I'm not trying to be an asshole. But she did it right.
It just comes naturally.
It does come naturally.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Son of a bitch stole my line.
Put her on the 110. She throws together the 110, nails the 110. Absolutely great.
Yeah. Dan checking in.
Oh, we almost could have done it because there were 6 of them, right?
Yeah.
And so then she pulls the 125, and I didn't tell her, these new 125s have electric start. They've got upside down forks. They got adjustable suspension.
I'd like to trade mine in, please.
They're pretty fancy.
Well, you have to finish it first.
All right.
Once too often.
So I go in and I just showed her. I was like, okay, the easiest way, because the front brakes now are different. The upside down forks are different than the other ones were, right? So the first one I showed her, I was like, well, you can put it on the side stand and hork it up like this. Or honestly, as long as you lay the bike on its left-hand side, there's no gas in it. It's not going to leak oil anywhere. So just throw the bike on the ground and just mount the front wheel like that. It's actually pretty easy. So she gets the 125 done. She comes over and she goes, I need your help on this one. And I'm like, oh yeah, she got fucked up somehow. Like what happened? How'd she fuck up? Finally, I'm going to get to give her some education. And she goes, yeah, I'm all done, but I can't pick it up.
Nice.
She finished the fucking thing. She just had it laying on the ground, but she couldn't actually lift it up. And I was like, so Merritt jumped in, and so Merritt was working that day, and Merritt went over and showed her how to pick up a motorcycle when it's laying on the ground. And so that was it. And I was like, whoa, she's doing pretty good. She might have to hang around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, she did really, really well. But I told her, I was like, you'd understand, we had 6 guys in this building, and we were all building them at the same time, and it was ferocious. And on top of that, there were liquor penalties.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cutthroat, If we're ever going to do that again, that was a very good blueprint.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was a good thing. It was a great way to deal with COVID.
And there wasn't many parts left over afterwards.
No, it was remarkable. I would say that as a whole.
I guess the important question is...
I threw mine on everybody else's...
At some point, I'm walking around giving people words of encouragement and fucking with them. And we had a rule, if your tools left your 10 by 10 area that you had, then then that was a penalty. So you weren't allowed to get spread out. But at some point, I just heard a nut or a bolt or a screw wander across our concrete floor. And I was like, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, somebody's going to come up short.
And GSG decided to bring his own liquor.
He did. He literally decided to bring his own liquor.
Is that tequila or some goddamn thing? I don't know what it was, but he was pounding that stuff down like there's no tomorrow.
We're giving penalty shots, and we're like, okay, he gets a penalty shot. Meanwhile, he's drinking his own liquor. And we're like, well, okay.
Yeah.
He's penalizing himself.
You think mine still needs build? His really still needs build.
Don't throw me in the briar patch. No. That was it.
Yeah.
That was what he was doing, man.
So has she gotten her first Chinese paper cut yet?
She has, yeah. So she has, yeah. She got her first Chinese paper cut.
Oh God,
everything is sharp and stabby.
Oh, and it stings for minutes.
It is so stabby. And then I was like, well, this is brake parts cleaner. This will find cuts on your hands that you had 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be a real eye-opening experience.
I think
for
if you cut yourself on the plastic off that gas tank, it's going to sting worse than brake cleaner ever will.
It is so vicious. It is just one of those
That
things.
the fumigation thing they use at the ports.
And when we get those bikes in, we outgas them.
Oh, yeah.
When we open those up, we outgas them. We put them in the hallway.
That's why they age.
For a few days.
Yeah.
So we put them in the hallway for several days because if we bring them in the shop right when we get them, Renee can't handle it.
Renee pushes them right
dude.
back outside.
Really?
Yeah.
I got one when B was tiny, and I used to take her on the buddy scooter. And my wife was like, "You need to have a seatbelt." Blah blah. I ordered one of those like seatbelt
A
harness.
Bambino?
Yeah, for the kids with the like, little handles and stuff. Dude, we opened the package. And it's just like you're saying, it was like 95 degrees outside. I put it outside for 2 weeks off gassing until it stopped smelling like formaldehyde and some other shit that was on. It's disgusting.
None of us had any idea when
One time-
we walked into KB Toy and Hobby in the mall. That's what our future was going to smell like.
Yeah.
Because KB Toy and Hobby had a very distinctive smell
did.
of outgassing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what is this? What is this weird smell? It's
Why
and
are we coming
people
out
are
here
like,
high?
and people are just like, it's the smell of new toys. And I'm like, no, it's the smell of cancer.
Yeah.
My mom bought the door-to-door salesman came by and sold my mom a purse one time, and it smelled like a vulcanizing plant or something. It was just like, I was like, oh my god! I'm like, I don't think that's leather, Mom.
No, I don't think it is.
It is. It just came from Pakistan. And they make leathers.
It's literally
It
tanned
was
in
like
urine.
cosmoline, formaldehyde, like all kinds of smells.
That's a
coming
Packy
from
leather.
it.
I used to order an obscene amount of shit from Sportsman's Guide because I cannot pass a good deal. And they had Italian Army surplus duffel bags for $6 each. And I was like, $6? That you can't beat that. And then a week later they were 2 for $10. And so I went, they did beat it. So I'm going to order 2 black canvas Italian Army duffel bags. They showed up and I was like, oh, this is great. Open up the package. I was overcome instantly.
They soak them in kerosene.
I have no idea what the hell went wrong with those things, but I opened the package and ran out of the shop and threw them in the bed of the truck. I was just like, this is insane. This is crazy. And then in that same package, I'd ordered a pair of like Swiss military motorcycle gloves, right? I was like, well, what could possibly go wrong there? Worse, animal products. Opened that up. Smell of death, right? Went out in the back of the truck again. So, of course, as being my life, I got super busy, didn't think about it, forgot about it, and they got rained on. Oh my God. If you didn't think it could get worse, it got worse. It just got worse. Everything got worse. So I took both of the Italian military duffel bags, took them to a laundromat I didn't care much for.
Oh,
or whatever, and I ruined their equipment.
Yeah.
So I threw both of those things into a washer, box of soap, etc., and let it run and like triple washed it, like gave it 3 runs, and then pulled it out and was like, should I dry it? There is so much metal on this thing. Like there is no strap, there's no buckle, there's a bunch of rings and a metal shaft that goes through with a clip on it. I threw that thing in the dryer, put the money in, hit it. It sounded like it was insane. There was so much noise. I've heard car crashes that weren't as loud as what was happening in that dryer. Everybody in the laundromat was just like, what the fuck? Did you throw a toolbox in there?
I got a question for our guest star.
Yeah.
What in Nebraska smells bad?
Feedlots.
Feedlots.
Feedlots, especially in the springtime as it all starts to thaw.
So lots of poo.
It seems to be the urine concentrate that off gases.
That's that sweet smell of urine, rotten urine.
Sweet. That's what it is.
Mark the time on that one.
That's why I won't even buy a new diesel because I don't want to put horse piss in my vehicle.
Yeah.
The deaf.
Right. I don't want to pay for horse piss. There's no way, man. I'm not. I'll buy some dumb shit, but I will not buy horse
You drive
piss.
45 minutes down the road, you get it for free.
The entire thing, man. I just refuse to be a part of that. Like, you could just tell me, oh, the new Ford Transit diesel is the greatest vehicle in the world. You should buy one right now, and they're cheap. And I'm no.
Diesel.
I thought the other thing that stinks pretty bad in Nebraska is Cornhusker football.
Hey, now.
Oh, man.
For the last 30 years, for Christ's sake.
I mean, Chris, calm down.
I don't know about 30, but
Settle down.
He's our guest, for Christ's sake.
Come on, man.
That's okay. But I don't follow football anyhow.
I'm a Cornhusker fan myself.
He's not a sports ball.
What was that? Oh, Sean.
Headphones.
Just a giant phone.
I have one more question for Nick. What kind of good food comes out of Nebraska? Beef? Corn?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the whole steak scene is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Runza.
Yep, Runzas. Absolutely.
Runzas are from Nebraska?
Yeah.
You bet.
Sleepy Store guy always talks about Runzas. I've never got one, the prick.
Well, if I'd known that, I don't know. They travel fairly well, I guess. But
I want Runzas. I want to get the Runzas.
Yep.
What's that?
Tell us what a Runza is.
So it's kind of a beef and cabbage sandwich, but
It's like a Hot Pocket.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yep,
that sounds brilliant.
Keeps the mail moving.
it does do
The
that.
official question I have to ask everybody from Nebraska: have you ever been to Ole's Big Game Steakhouse?
No.
You have not. Okay, so Paxton, Nebraska, located conveniently next to Interstate 80, the big road. Ole's Big Game Steakhouse, I shits thou not, is magic because I think they have over 400 mounted animals in the restaurant. And I don't mean like currently being mounted. I mean trophy animals.
I'm so glad you cleared that up.
You ruined it for me.
You got to pay extra for that.
Because apparently Ole, the man himself, was quite the big game hunter. And however he made his millions, he spent it all shooting fuzzy things. And he did. He shot everything. And on top of the cigarette machine is probably one of the best stuffed badgers I've ever seen. And it is a magical experience. When Oscar and I were driving out to Denver Rally, we stopped at Ole's Big Game Steakhouse and Lounge. And it was probably the worst cocktail I've ever had in my life.
Sure.
Probably the best steak I've ever had in my life. But the whole time, there's at least 200 sets of eyes watching you, and they're all dead. And that is definitely a pro tip if you are driving across Nebraska.
I've never even heard of it.
Ole's Big Game Warehouse, or Ole's Big Game Steakhouse. It is outrageous, and it's to the point where you're like, okay, whether or not you're into shooting animals, whether or not that's your jam, you just are so overwhelmed by just the quantity. It's basically like somebody shot a zoo. They've mounted shit like hummingbirds, like dumb stuff, like just to prove you could. And there's polar bears, and they're like, walk in the door, giant fucking polar bear, right? There's shit, there's giraffe. They have mounted giraffe.
Is that on the menu?
No, I don't think any of these items are on the menu. Yeah. I
think all
that's a
eat
letdown.
all of them now?
I have no idea. I've known some big game hunters, and eating it's not a big part of the operation. They like to say that they donate.
They give the meat to the natives.
That's what the guy was like. Yeah, we go ahead and give the meat to the natives, and I was like, so you just leave it there? We just leave it. Yeah, okay.
Gave it to the natives. Yeah.
That is probably my least favorite way to think that exists. But Ole's Big Game Steakhouse and Lounge. That's a tip from your Uncle Phil.
Sorry for the side chatter. We're just trying to get drinks situated.
Oh, you're trying to get the drinks? You're trying to get the drinks in?
I'm in Nebraska.
The important part of the show, drinking.
You have a Nebraska story?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pete.
Brother Tim and I were coming across Nebraska some years ago on the TW200s. We're somewhere out by Hastings.
Okay.
And we stopped at a place for the night, and we asked this lady, like, where can we eat around here? She's like, oh, there's a sports bar, then there's a Subway. And I'm like, man, we don't want to eat any place like that. It's like, this is like cattle country. You have any, like, steakhouses or something, you know? She goes, oh, yeah. I forget the name of the place. It'll come to me. But she says, you go out past the airport, you're going to drive down this gravel road, and there's going to be cornfields on all sides of you, and then you're going to come to an intersection. 2 gravel roads, there'll be cornfields on 3 sides, and on the 4th corner, there's this restaurant. And I'm like, all right. So we're driving out there, it's getting dark, and it's like just cornfields for like miles, and then sure enough, we come to this intersection, and there's a restaurant out there. And the steak was fucking delicious. It was cheap. The service was great. And if I'm ever out there again, I'll look it up again.
And the corn was fresh.
Yeah.
And you're on gravel roads on a TW200.
Oh, yeah.
That is fucking brilliant.
We pulled up. There's a couple cars in the parking lot, and we're like, man, there's no windows on the place. And it's like, I don't know if we want to go in there or not, you know. But we went in there, and it was a great meal. And
I love the fact that she had to tell you you're going to drive down a gravel road, and you're going to come to a 4-way intersection, and there will be a restaurant there. But then she went to the trouble of telling you what was on the other 3 corners, which, by the way, were corn.
Corn, and more
Because
corn.
like the fucking restaurant wouldn't have been enough that you'd know. One time I was driving through Nebraska on the motorcycle, and I went across a place that had and I'm not going to say it's lamb fries, but it's bull testicles, right?
Yep.
It's the last part of the animal that gets butchered, I guess.
You got the cock and ball special.
It was, but whatever the hell it was,
Just before the squeal.
I'm rolling through on the bike, and it says home of the state lamb fries, Rocky Mountain oysters, whatever the fuck they were called, whatever the term was, but home of the festival. And I was like,
testicle festival.
Testicle festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that. So where is that?
I knew it until you brought it up.
Okay, sorry. I will continue the story. Nick will bring it up. So I see the sign that says home of the Testicle Festival. And they're like, come on. And they're like, no, deep fried bull's balls, right? The whole thing. So you're on a motorcycle. You're driving cross country. You have to stop.
I don't want this in my search history.
I went into this place, this bar, and you described it perfectly. No windows. Cinder block building out in the middle of the prairie. Pull in. Yeah, there's like 700 braziers hanging from the ceiling, right? The place has never been cleaned in at least 100 years of ownership, ever. At least 9 of the 10 menu items are all testicle based, right? And that's the whole thing. And I'm looking at pictures up on the wall of a testicle festival that has run for like 40 fucking years.
This is the worst Hooters ever.
Ashland.
There you go.
That could be a chick thing. Like women come to eat testicles.
I promise you, it was.
Would you go to a labia festival? Deep fried.
Yum.
Ovary festival?
All you can eat.
Fish and chips, or how's that going?
It's an ovary festival. We're going to go to an ovary festival and eat ovaries.
Man.
But think about that. It's even
Did I just
worse.
break the podcast?
Because it's a cow labia. That's even fucking grosser, man.
Grosser than eating testicles?
Labia
Okay, if you say
majora.
so.
Oh my God.
If you ask me whether I'd rather eat a testicle or a labia, I'd probably go with labia.
Lip smacking good.
That served with gravy, or
So to speak.
In some countries, they'd serve that right on a plate. I've seen it.
So, to clarify, just so you don't think I'm out of my mind,
Put sriracha on anything.
here you go, guys. I'm setting you up. This one's a freebie from your Uncle Phil, and thanks to Nick. Sleepy, throw it up on the screen.
I'm trying. I can't see. I don't know. Is that the right thing?
All right, there we go, guys.
Yeah.
June 14th, $10 cover, Ashland, Nevada.
Y'all wanted to know where we're going to have the party.
Or,
Here's the
or
party.
Nebraska.
I wasn't lying when I told you 32nd year. 32 years they've been keeping this shit up. 32 years. And it's at the Round the Bend Steakhouse. Yep. So Round the Bend Steakhouse is the joint. If you look at the picture, not a window in the cocksucker, right? Fantastic. Unbelievable. I went in there, I think it was a Wednesday, and I rolled in, and it wasn't during Testicle Festival. No, it was just a regular Wednesday.
It was just a testicle.
It sounds like every day is a testicle festival there.
Testicle Tuesdays.
It was crazy, man.
2-for-1 special.
It was crazy. It was bonkers. I promise you, the food I ate was delicious. I had 0 complaints. It was awesome. It was great.
Best balls I've ever had.
But they did say, you got to come back because we have the Testicle Festival. And I was just like, oh, man. But it is Ashland, Nebraska.
yeah.
Yeah, and Nebraska is a very large state. If you've ever driven across it, it is large and it's windy.
Yes.
So
That might be why they don't have windows.
that could have something to do with it.
Either that, or they don't want people standing outside looking in as you stuff your cheeks full of balls.
They're also true.
This is also true. And they're bigger than you think they are. So that is another thing you should be aware of. If you go in there with only your own knowledge of testicles, and you go in there and they serve you what they're going to serve you, you're going to realize these.
You're not prepared.
Yeah, there's an anatomical difference between you and a fucking bull, and it's size, it's girthy, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh man, for those viewing at home, yeah, you like your pit barbecue? Well, there you go.
The Bean Flake Festival.
engine says 3 stars. Of course he does.
Ballroom.
Oh my God, the names just write themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, and it is called the Ballroom, by the way. Pull it up, throw it up on the screen. You're not going to believe this.
You're kidding me.
Yes, it is called the Ballroom.
On the money.
They can accommodate podcasts from 4 to 400. So there you go. Please get a quote form today and start planning your event.
So if you if our Patreon level reaches the $10,000 place out.
I only drive to Nebraska when I'm going somewhere else. Nebraska is always the place I'm always like, well, if we can make it to Nebraska. A couple of years we drove cross country, we were delivering bikes, selling bikes on the West Coast, and we got to the Nebraska state line, and I gave the keys to Emmy. We were driving the truck and the trailer, and I was like, here you go. And she goes, what? And I said, I don't drive across Nebraska. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I sleep across Nebraska. You can drive across Nebraska. Here's the keys. You're driving across Nebraska. So she got the Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska, right? And she was just like, played it. She just played it the whole way across the goddamn state. And I passed out. I fell asleep.
How long does it take end to end?
Oh, you're 8.5, 9 hours.
Okay.
Pretty easy. It's 440 some miles.
Yeah.
It's
And you have to stop for the balls.
So if we make it to 1,000 episodes,
Would that be balls out?
we make it to 1,000 episodes. I say we hire the ballroom to cater the 1,000th episode.
You know, we can eat nuts here. We don't have to go to Ashland, Nebraska.
That's true.
To eat nuts. I'm pretty sure we could find the right person in our podcast listeners and our patrons. We could find the right person who would show up at AMA Vintage Days with a bag of balls.
Considering the number of
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen now.
Thanks for you've just made that real. But I'm just thinking about all the meat shops around here because there are a lot of meat shops around here, and I am surprised that there's nobody that just like no market around here seems to be advertising this.
King Nut. King Nut.
That is so fucking bad. So for you riding in Nebraska, because for people that don't know, Nebraska is straight.
It is. It's built completely on a grid.
Not what I've heard.
I'll have to ask you.
One nut restaurant doesn't classify the whole state.
I mean,
I'd give my left nuts for something to eat.
They have replacements.
That's what they all say.
you teed that one up, man.
Oh my God! Teabag that one right up. I can't even. So for driving enjoyment, for riding enjoyment, like do you have a twisty road within 10 miles of your house, or within 100 miles of your house, or within 1,000 miles of your house?
10's pushing it, and it might only be a mile or two long,
right?
Type of deal.
Yeah, you're just going exit ramps. Yeah. You're just doing all the exit ramps.
Do the figure eights,
right?
Even actually from my place, it's an hour to the interstate.
Holy crap!
Yeah, whether you want to hit 29 or 80, you're an hour to the interstate.
You're an hour to get to the big road. Mm-hmm. Damn! Oh my!
But I mean, if you go like 20 across the state, is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Got plenty of farm roads too.
Right. And that's the whole deal behind putting that KE 250 back together is yeah. So as far as cross country and enduro stuff, there's
that is really something to think about. Yeah. Okay. Well, we joke here in Cleveland, of course, they're like, oh yeah, there's no curvy roads in Cleveland, but there are curvy roads in Cleveland. We have metro parks that are fun, and you drive an hour, not even 45 minutes out of here, and there's some great, amazing roads. Yeah. It's not hard to find good roads. They just keep them a little while away from here.
Yeah, no, you can drive an hour there and not have to touch the handlebars.
Yeah.
It's just cruise
like
control.
Those videos you see of guys in India laying on the seat, just chilling out with their feet up on the bars.
That's where that's filmed, yeah.
Oh my God, man, that is,
and suddenly dark siding makes a whole lot more sense.
Yes, it does. I might dark side the front tire. That's true. I might double dark side. I might just be like, yeah, okay, that's it.
Why waste it?
Great. Yeah.
That's called lane assist. Like just stays right there.
Oh, good. Got 3,000 miles. Time for an oil change in the back tire.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right? Yeah.
Thanks, redunk.
Yeah.
That is something.
$5 for the 500.
Right on, man. Woo! $5, man.
We're getting ever closer to our goal of 10,000 to have the Nut Festival.
God, be careful what you wish for, dude.
You know what? 10 grand comes across our plate. Let's go.
Well, so I wanted to bring us up to speed on that because we have got some cool stuff happening. We wanted to give Mike Horner kicked in at the $10 level. So Patreon member Mike Horner, or Mitchell Horner, sorry about that. He's one of those guys.
Mr. Horner down on the corner.
So, but no, this is the guy that says, I'm going to read this to you. Well, shit, you got me to support again, which is saying a lot from this cheap ass KLR owner.
Yay, KLR owners rock.
Right on, man.
Does he have the double
What
crate?
Oh yeah, that's the double.
That's the new high end.
That's the new high end. Yeah, that's the new high end. I'm gonna have to put together my custom double crate.
Fancy boys.
K to the L to the R.
It is the killer. And I'm happy to support you all. I've listened to every episode, and I'm happy to see Grumpy Sewer Guy is back joining the pod.
Yeah, not for the 500 though.
No, he had to stand us up. Is that G400C still for sale? I would love to buy it, fly into Cleveland for DGR, and ride it back to Kansas City.
Yep.
Let me know if this is a possibility, and I will sign up for the Cleveland ride. Not only is it a possibility.
When's your flight come in? We'll pick you
Jesus
up.
Christ, we might get action on this. We might lay odds. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Who's he staying with?
Right. There you go. That's another good option for him. So yeah, we could do that. Right
Chicken
on.
coop.
Figure it out. Chicken coop.
You can stay at Cinch's Chip.
We got a
and
pool
coop.
and a pond. That's nice.
Pick us up some beef balls along the way.
He's from Arkansas?
Kansas.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Chicken coop's fine for
Kansas
him, probably.
City, man. Kansas City's a big town,
That's
man.
another beef town, too.
Kansas City's a big town.
You got a beef?
But Ryan Hegdahl, he bumped himself from $10 to $20. He just became a fucking legend.
Thank you, Ryan.
He's a fucking legend out there.
Should I say Mr.
Fucking
Hegdahl?
legend. Yep. He gets bumped. He gets his rank bumped on that one for sure. And then Scott Montour, he comes in at the $10 level. So these guys are getting the punchlines now. They're not fucking around. They're sick of listening to this podcast without the punchlines.
They didn't just hear the for the last 5 minutes of Smith over there.
But Digman did say he does not want the punchlines. He's in at the $5 level. So that's it. So we had some new patrons. That's always super exciting. We love you guys.
I have to ask, is that a real thing?
What?
No.
Is it a real thing? Was a real thing? Yes, there's a Patreon group. Yeah.
I know there's a real page.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, but no, we don't filter out the we don't filter out the funny.
At the
things.
$150
we don't have that technology.
At the $150
That
level,
would be
we get the
so
Discord.
cruel.
It would be very cruel. But there is a funny thing in the way that
Cinch, why is your thumb all wrinkly like it was stuck up your ass for a long time? It looks like it's underwater. Suck your thumb?
I've been working on motorcycles a lot, dude.
He's taking all the moisture out of his fingers. He's got crypt
It looks like it had a lot of moisture, like you were thumb fucking something.
Well, I mean, I do have to have pleasure.
You've been playing with the chickens again?
Yes.
One on each hand. One has two thumbs and loves chickens. This guy.
Did I tell you what I had to do this last weekend?
It's kinky. It's kinky if you use the whole chicken.
Yes. My wife went out of town.
That breast.
So that left
thigh.
me taking care of the fucking chickens, right? So the one barn.
That's why you got that thumb.
The one barn, no big deal. It's like 2 roosters, 12 hens or something.
Right.
They're cool. They're all
fine.
like, hey, what's up, dude?
Right.
What? You want to pet me? Oh, come. Oh, yeah, here you go.
Right.
There you go. Food, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Then she's like, okay, the back barn, those are the ones we got from your daughter when she was raising them at school. They're all dudes.
They're all roosters.
Yeah. And somehow they get along, though, right? But that's because they banded together to kill me. Like they have a common purpose now. When I walked in, the one dude took my head out, the other 2 took my legs. I found myself on the ground being pecked by 5
They heard
fucking
you coming, and they were strapping little blades to their heels.
Seriously, they fucked me up, dude. I had cuts. I'm bleeding. The more blood that came out, the more excited they got. It was fucking crazy. I'm like, these guys are fucking dinosaurs.
They got Patreon members.
Yeah.
That was pay-per-view?
I'm thinking about the title for this video: "Sleeping a bunch of cocks."
Surrounded by angry cocks.
Once again, beaten down by a bunch of cocks.
Surrounded by mad cocks.
Sleepy, I got a big bottle of Red Hot sauce.
I was going to say, you can eat a rooster.
If you're just tuning in, this is all about balls and cocks.
The first one.
The same as the
Cock
last
and ball special.
Happy
Cock and ball special.
We talk a good game. Go ahead, Pete.
And Steve ended up bloody.
Yeah.
What were you saying we talk a good gamecock?
We talk a good game, but today a squirrel got into the shop. It started with Renee going,
God,
So Renee doesn't normally let out a squeal. Renee let out a squeal, and I was like, what? We had a customer in the shop. I was like, whatever has become of you? What's going on? She goes, we have a squirrel. So, we have the roll-up door open, and nature comes in. But the squirrels are just fucking ridiculous. So he gets in, and then for the next 12 minutes, it is squirrel wrangling. But I knew we were fucked because when I first saw the cocksucker and I run up to him and I square up with this black squirrel, he jumps directly at my dick and got onto my pants. So he gets onto my pants. Fortunately, they're like stay pressed. He can't get grip on him. So he just slides off. But I was like, when a squirrel launches at you, you should be worried.
That might have rabies.
There's something broken with that squirrel. Either rabies or it's just broken.
But they're all kind of, because like when I was helping you there and they come out of the trees, they would get on the trash can and stare you down.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Those are city squirrels, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
The city squirrels, they don't give a shit.
No, it's like, they're like, hey, man.
Were they black, white, or Puerto Rican? They were the red, black, or gray.
These were black squirrels. This is two black squirrels. Two black squirrels. And the more we fucked with them, the more
there were 3 of them.
Okay, all right.
There were 3.
There apparently were 400 squirrels.
No, apparently there were 400 squirrels.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand though is that what those squirrels came from, like they were used to be in one area, right? Weren't they like in Columbus
Kent.
or something?
I thought it started at Kent.
Yeah.
They brought them to Kent, and somehow they got loose.
Somebody
and now
thought it would be a
spread
great
everywhere.
idea to have black squirrels at Kent.
Which, I don't care. Black
for a
squirrel,
long
red
time,
squirrel, gray squirrel.
They're cute.
It's a squirrel.
For a long time, those like people would put the European stickers on the card, like D or whatever.
Yeah.
And so for a while, those stickers were very popular, and it was very popular to have a black silhouette of a squirrel on your oval-shaped sticker, and that was like the secret handshake. Oh, you went to Kent. As opposed to a National Guardsman with a rifle, right? So they
is that why Aaron Dolazar had that on the side of his?
Yeah.
Supposedly the black ones are more regressive or something.
We were told
Grumpy Sewer guy says that.
We were told that today by the customer who was there while the squirrel was refusing to vacate our premises and was lunging at me. So squirrel 1, no fucks given. 2, I can take a squirrel. 3, I fired up the leaf blower. The Ryobi, my first leaf blower. And so I fired up the Ryobi first leaf blower because like kicking things and making noises, it was just coming at me.
Yeah.
Like every time I'd be like, I got you. And he'd be like, yeah, I see you now.
You need to reach into your left-hand pocket.
I was no shit. I was like, man, a snake load would do so well right now. But long and short of it was I got the leaf blower, and the leaf blower did piss off the little bastard. So we got him all the way out, got him out of the showroom, got him into the tunnel, got him out in the hallway. Great. And we were like, cool, we're bringing bikes in.
You ended the standoff.
That cocksucker ran right back in, all the way back to Tom's shop.
He was back on my laptop. He was on fucking eBay.
And by the way, I don't run ever. Tom and I were both running across the shop. Like, it's good to know we can move if we have to.
Yeah.
As much of a run as you can pull off.
What did the squirrel order?
What did the squirrel order?
Sorry, sir. If you're not going to buy something, you need to get the fuck out.
He was looking at bull testicles.
That was for sure.
We don't have a coffee pot here for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, he started looking for nuts. But
Do you have an appointment?
I'm going to predict that we're going to have a lot of squirrels in the shop this year because if it's this early in the season, like our first warm day, and the squirrels are already fucking entering, because we keep the roll-up door open.
Sean's in the chat. I'm just going to ask him now if he can bring that burrow owl back. Just leave him in the hallway.
Yeah.
Mutual love. Oh my
Sean seriously like, ooh, free food for my raptors.
I think if we can get a three of them in the showroom at one time, just get a 3 squirrels in the showroom, block off all the doors, and just bring that red falcon, that red-tailed hawk in there. We'll bring the red-tailed hawk in there and just sit back. And just start up the cameras, because I would just
until they run through all your new bikes, and the hawk is just smashing bikes over. And
it's a hawk.
There'd be bird shit and blood everywhere.
I tell Sean O'Hara every time he shows up, I'm like, he's like, oh, the bird shit. And when the red-tailed hawk shits, it bends over forward and it shoots the shit out its ass about 6 feet. So it's like a ballistic. Yeah, Sean's right there. Sean's like, I'll be around. Fuck yeah. And it is so funny. But I'm just goofy for these predator birds. Like, I think they're great. And if one of them shits on a motorcycle, that's cool. I'm fine. One of them is shit on the floor.
That's an upcharge.
I was like, don't clean that up. Leave that there. I want people to see fucking Raptor shit on my floor and be like, this place knows how to party. Yeah. Anybody who shows up and is like, holy crap.
Bird poop on the bikes.
I love it.
And a full bar in the kitchen.
The mailman walked in one time when Sean had the birds in. The mailman walks in and goes, holy fuck. And then another time, the customers come to the door, and I greet them at the door because we keep the door locked anyway. I greet the customers at the door. I'm like, I'm just letting you know up front. We got a friend here who's brought some Raptors. So if big birds freak you out, you might not want to come in the shop right now. It's not like, let's put these birds away for you. It's like, no, fuck you. We're enjoying the birds. If this is not your speed, you can go buy bikes somewhere else.
I mean, there's a cassowary running down the hallway,
Just guard your nuts, boys. But the customers came in, their customers were like, oh yeah, we can handle some birds. And then they came in and they saw that we weren't talking about fucking parrots. We're talking about big goddamn birds that bring down game. And the customer walks in and just as this fucking giant fucking bird is like full 6 foot wingspan. And the customer's like, oh, big bird, real birds. I was like, yeah, real fucking birds.
Are we going to walk down to Smedley's after this?
Are we? We're going to have to do a backyard gaming. Smedley's is open again.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's open. It
Passed by
closed
on the way in.
and it's open again. So go figure. That just shows anything comes back. Guzzi's come back to ClevelandMoto. Smedley's comes back to West Park or Cam's Corners. Yeah, nothing stays.
There's been a total rise of Harleys up and down the street. Just
There is. Today was insane. Today was
all right, cool.
fucking mental.
That one guy that's rolling down the street playing playing deep bass Mexican music. It's hysterical. I'm like, do you work at 150? Is that what's going on?
It's just, it is our neighborhood at the shop is one of those places in Cleveland where the sun comes out and it just like must bring loud motorcycle.
Yeah.
Dude, I miss some of those outside, and I know it'd be hard to do it, but the
Crackle
outside
cast.
cast. But with the dude, remember the guy that
Why is
came
it
and
hard?
fucking killed himself right in front of us, like on his bike? He just crashed right in front of the fucking podcast.
I have an 8-channel mixer you can hold in your hand.
Dude, there's like 10.
I know, but I'm saying
and we
just
have
do it.
lawn chairs and a
Super
fire
solid
pit.
Wi. We have super solid Wi-Fi at the shop.
We got you covered.
All right, everybody, let's move outside.
Okay. grab your liquor. Let's go.
Let's test the system and see how fast we can get outside right this minute. The for real. That is super cool. It's for us. Doing the podcast outside is an extremely good experience because we get the neighborhood action. The people from the CMHA high rise next door. That's an assisted. That's
Senior housing?
Senior housing, yeah, senior housing, government supported senior housing, and they're fucking awesome. Like I love them. They invite us to barbecues and stuff. It's cool, and you can't have better neighbors. I'm buying a pack of smokes at Charlie's before I came over here, and one of the neighbor ladies is there, and she comes in, and I was like, dude, I'm watching you. You can only sell her a winning lottery ticket. She needs to get out of that fucking high rise. And the guy was like, what? And she goes, oh, Phil, it's you. And I said, yeah. And I said, buy a winning lottery ticket. Just get the fuck out of there. And she goes, I just need a new car. I just need a new car. That's all I need is a new car. And I'm like, these folks, since we moved in 9 years ago, they have been nothing but fucking splendid to us. They have been super cool.
But you've initiated that.
Well, everyone likes when you show up with a bag of random beers.
Right.
It's a community, man.
It is a community. It is a community. And we're getting a big fucking mural paint on the side of our building this month.
Sweet.
I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, local artist is doing a cool thing.
Do you have any idea what it is, or it's going to be a surprise?
So it is a amalgamation of the indigenous native animal species that are in our area. So there's going to be
black squirrel. not a black squirrel. No.
Now there's going to be white-tailed deer. There's going to be some the trout that we have in the river in Recce River. There's going to be all kinds of animals that are native to here.
I would not have thought of that.
Yep.
But
There's going to be a guy.
That's probably going to be pretty cool.
A guy on a Harley flying past.
It'll be
Drunken leprechaun.
Now that would be the correct
A
one.
megasaurus.
Right, representing humanity, there will be one short Irishman, one very fucking drunk Irishman
From West Park.
It'll be exactly, and he'll be wearing a T-shirt that says the Hoolie.
I love my "May the Forest Be With You" T-shirt.
Yes, absolutely. That's we're doing May the 4th up in Detroit again at the full immersion Star Wars party. Yeah, they've built a bar.
I'm going to visit my buddy Kevin out in Connecticut.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to help him put his CB160 racer together. Oh. He had the motor done and everything, and we're going to put it back in the frame, get it going. We might take it over to the shop And they have 3 Vincents over at that shop that they're working on. So
This is our friend Kevin Nixon.
Yeah.
And fucking super nice guy.
And he's supposedly going to race it at Mid-Ohio this year. So we should see Kevin at Mid-Ohio.
Oh my God.
Unless he blows the fucker up.
Dude, we can be the topless cheering station. You can write an N on your chest.
Topless, bottomless,
Right?
anything.
We'll
Tasteless.
Full Monty.
Yeah, we'll just be hiding around turn 6. So just when he's got a lot on his mind, just like 5 semi-naked guys.
By the way, Don Slicker, if you're still listening out there, he's supposed to come up next week. And he could be more than welcome maybe to stop by the podcast.
Fantastic. Absolutely.
That would be fun at the podcast.
Nick showed up and he's in the podcast.
Yeah.
He showed up to steal lithium. Yeah.
Lithium.
Stealing car batteries. Yeah, that's it. So that's the whole idea. I hope you videotape the shit out of these things.
Well, we will for
Good.
sure.
Yeah.
Did we ever hear what we're doing with the lithium? Why you've come from?
Tell
the
him,
ground?
Nick.
So we're going to force it into a reaction.
Okay.
So we can actually play with it and train on it and different methods of mitigation.
Fire.
Okay.
Yep.
Fire.
I'll take you to burn.
I believe it's called thermal event.
So
Fire.
Exothermic
we burned
reaction.
up
Thermic reaction.
We've burned up little batteries.
I'll take you to learn.
Okay, that weigh like an ounce or 2 ounces or 3 ounces. How much did this battery weigh today?
It was enough.
These bastards are just shy of 50 pounds.
So he's getting the whole rack, the whole monolith.
He took all of them.
And did he get the one out of my shop?
I don't know. You have one in your shop?
Oh no, the one out of the SR. The last one I did, the big brick.
No.
I have a big brick in the back.
Oh, that's a double brick. So that's a 14.4.
Yeah,
That's 2 bricks
That's the
welded
monster.
together. Yeah, he took all of the 7.2s.
Oh, the little ones, okay.
Yeah, all the 7.2s. So he took all the 7.2s. Somebody right now, somewhere there's a battery nerd who's just like, dude, you just gave up like $90,000 worth of lithium.
I was going to ask you what you think the street value of.
I have no idea, but I mean, I watch all those stupid channels where the guys are like, look, we took this battery out of a Prius or whatever, and the car was 15 years old, but 83% of the battery still checked out okay. So they're harvesting all these batteries.
Cell by cell.
Your attention, please.
Okay.
Well, all those who have not done
That's
so,
great.
please do so.
Except
at
for
this
the
time.
guys that are listening to it in a week when we drop it through their headphones.
Yeah.
That's all fine and good coming out of your television.
That's the tricky bit because I kept looking at the rack going, there's a lot of Panasonic cells in there, but I am not that desperate for battery.
No, I can buy a fucking. I can buy a 1.5 volt battery. I can buy a AA.
Yeah.
And these are the flat packs.
Yeah.
So this is a shit ton of flat
Well,
packs.
I think there's some loose ones back by the lead acids in the shopping cart.
Oh, yeah.
And then the huge monster brick that's in the very back that needs to.
Well, the point is, for what he's doing, I think 50 pounds of lithium is probably adequate for testing purposes.
I think that's a nice controllable number for training exercise.
Yeah, sure.
It feels like you could take like a city out with that.
I just know that when electric cars do get excited, that they do burn for a long time.
It did cross my mind that I'm traveling across like 3.5 states.
Yeah.
I hope
with
you
this
don't
in the
touch
back of my
us.
pickup. Right, yeah.
I mean, hey,
Do I need a placard?
no,
or?
some of those have been sitting for like 3 years. So, like the phrase "inert," right? I think these are pretty. They've been proven that they're not in any hurry to hurt anybody.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's only.
Well, don't let
it's
you go
only-
up past, get west of Fort Wayne before you go up.
It's only like what 2 Teslas worth of batteries there. So
Wasn't it Kevin Nixon who was doing a cross country ride on electric motorcycle when they were
They were
anally
doing-
intruded by a?
Yeah, something happened there. The truck, their chase truck got blasted. You know,
Right.
so it wasn't the electric motorcycle that was a problem, but
Right.
but he was doing a cross country.
Yeah, they were
with
doing a
another
cross
guy.
country race and they got blown. They got attacked by an 18-wheeler or something.
Totaled the truck that they were, their chase.
Well, so this
vehicle.
is like, don't get your gasoline powered truck involved with a crash right now, because then you'd be a statistic about an electric vehicle crash.
Yeah.
Because you're literally carrying an entire car's worth of electricity.
I mean, you might want to secure that somehow.
I don't know.
Wrap it in.
I think I would rather it be out of the vehicle.
Yeah, on a little trailer
Big
or
fat
something.
crash. I don't want to be anywhere near that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big fat crash. I might self eject.
You might
Leave the tailgate down.
Leave the tailgate down.
Okay, down.
I think you're relatively safe as long as you can bail out of the truck quick.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
You might get a new truck out of the deal.
So speaking of vehicles, I forgot about this too. You just talked about cars catching on fire. Coming here on the way here, this dude and
Your
going.
truck broke down again?
I'm impressed you actually made it.
Thank you. I did have to fix the truck, but anyways,
Before or after you left for here?
No, before. During at work. I was at work when I fixed it. But going the opposite way on 20,
Yeah.
there's like a Miata looking car coming, and behind the car, I'm like, is that like a cloud of smoke? And then like as it keeps getting closer, the cloud keeps getting billowing bigger and bigger. And sure enough, this little Miata fucking car is passing everybody's smoke. And as he gets closer, there's flames shooting out of the bottom of the car.
What?
And so like people are beeping. This dude is like,
And he's caning it.
He is like
Send
fucking
it.
on it. Like he is just like, I don't know if he was high or what, but he was just wailing. Like you could see him. He was stoked that the car was going that fast.
Oh.
And I keep looking in the rearview mirror and there's literal flames shooting from where the transmission is on the car. And then it just went out of distance. But I'm like, holy shit. And then as I kept driving, there was the cloud of smoke just floating down
Hey,
20.
your car's
all the way
on
down to
fire.
Wayne. Yeah.
No, it's just
seriously.
burning a little oil.
Yeah.
John Candy.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That is
Trains,
terrifying.
automobiles, right?
Yeah. That is terrifying. That is one of those situations where I have been the car that was on fire, and when
You're so proud.
when you get underneath it and you realize how big the fire is, and you're like, I'm completely not qualified to deal with this situation
I'm
right
walking
now.
away.
Right? But there is still fire, and I'm going to do my best. And when you commit to fight fire with nothing but like the last time the last time I had a pair of like snowboarding gloves, and I used snowboarding gloves to put out a fire in my car underneath my car, and somehow fucking got that shit done. But yeah, when it's your car, you will do some dumb brave shit.
I was wondering maybe he was just trying to put it out by going faster.
I must say that when my van caught on fire, the cop was really surprised that I bummed a ride off of him to AutoZone, got the parts to fix it, drove me back. He sat there the entire time. He's like, "You can't fix this thing."
Oh no!
15 minutes later, I was driving down the road again.
When my Ford Ranger plow truck caught on fire, like up in the airbox, it all just went to shit. And yeah, I had to make money. Like that's a plow truck.
Hey, you gotta earn. Let's go.
They didn't ask me. It's not like they're gonna stop snow so I can fix my car.
Do you even have a drink over there?
I have a can of beer over here. Yeah, I'm good.
So I used to daily drive an MG,
It's podcast.
so I'm familiar with being on
You know,
fire.
it's number 500.
Somebody's got to be the designated
I'm gonna
driver.
get tuned up. Yeah.
Was the MG rusty? Do you have rust where you are?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Rust is
All
the
right.
thing.
Well, you have to ask because most states are like, no, we're not stupid like Michigan and Ohio. We don't use salt on our
No,
roads.
they use sorghum.
No, we're stupid.
No, I think they use like pure acid on the roads here.
They use psyllium husk.
The rust on the Civic, man. That is not natural.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Cleveland.
Do you know
car.
what's under you right now? Like 600 feet straight down?
I'm assuming salt.
All the salt.
I was gonna say
That's all the salt.
that's all the salt that they use on the roads
That's
last
all the
week.
salt. Right. That's all the salt. That's where it comes from.
I'm gonna say, man, it's caustic.
Yeah. Ohio spends salt like it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah.
I don't think they're holding back at all.
No. In fact, we had like 8
No
flakes
way.
of snow the other day, and they
So
were
they were
like,
like,
"Fuck it,
"Don't
lay it down."
It's almost as if like since now snow has sort of tapered off, they still get the same amount of salt. So when they get a chance to use the salt, we got to use this salt up.
Well, the humorous part is for like 2 months, everything tasted like salt.
It does. Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell if it was the tap water or if it was the air.
It gets in everything. Yeah.
Well, no, remember when it was like 17 degrees? The salt turns into powder, and you can
does.
see it looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
fog floating through this whole area.
Fuck, it's sparkly.
Yeah.
You're like, how the fuck is just the air sparkly? I
just can't understand why-
sparkly because it's full of salt.
I can't understand why everybody has sinus issues in the wintertime.
I've been to the beach a lot, and it's not as salty as Cleveland.
No way. No, not even close. And I like all the people that are like, oh no, you can't you can't do this. This salt to earth. Everybody's so concerned about, you can't dump salt water. You can't put out the fires in California with water out of the ocean because it's salt water and it'll fuck up the environment. I'm like, Ohio has been trying to fuck up its own environment with salt in the form of keeping cars on the road for over 100 years.
My grass is still green. I mean, it gets a little brown in the summer when it's dry, but
my tree lawn's perfectly fine.
It's almost as though somebody said, I challenge you to put more salt into this earth. And Ohio was like, I accept your challenge. It's like us, Detroit, and Buffalo are literally pulling it out of under our Great Lakes and putting it on our streets.
It has to make a difference, though. Like, is Lake Erie going to turn into a saltwater pond at some point?
Again? I mean,
yeah, right.
The salinity has to have gone up over 30 years.
It's going to have to fight the chemicals for that.
Well, first it's going to have to beat the algae bloom,
which isn't going anywhere.
Which is not going anywhere. And if I thought that salt would beat algae bloom, I would be down there dumping salt in Lake Erie constantly. I'd be like, okay, every city in Ohio that has extra salt, dump it in the lake because the algae bloom. It's just fucking us on every.
Yeah, and you're not drinking that water the way it is anyway.
No, exactly. Right. Yeah, it's not great.
Algae bloom's fixable.
It is.
Easily.
It is a very, very. It's a thing that people can fix. All we have to do is just be like, okay, let's redo farming. Let's just redo agriculture.
John, tell me how it's easy.
Well, thank you for recognizing that because we in the wastewater industry get a lot of criticism for that, and everybody's like, well, what's your phosphorus and everything? I'm like, the phosphorus coming out of our plant is all treated. We're treated water. It's almost drinking water coming out of our plant. But what you can't control is people who field tile.
Right.
Every farmer wants to keep his field from being a pond. Right.
You're turning into farm talk. About cocks and balls.
But so then they fertilize their crops, and then it rains, and then it all just runs off and into the thing. So,
dude, there's a guy.
They need to knive it in.
I just want to know how
you can inject it right into the ground.
Dude,
you don't just top load it.
There's a guy up the street from me. Whenever it rains, and me and Kaya go for a walk, right? His ditch is like there's a green ooze just coming out of his fucking yard, and his yard and like everything and all his crops in the back are always like that fake green looking.
Back to John,
and it's better for the farmers because you don't want all your. You pay a lot of money, and sometimes you're barely breaking even between paying fertilizer and what you get for your crops.
Yeah.
So you don't want that fertilizer running off and going into Lake Erie.
No.
So there's methods of doing that that it doesn't end up in
an
Lake
injection method.
Yeah, you can actually inject, like instead of just spraying it on top of the ground, you can actually spray it a couple inches under the ground, and it stays there. It doesn't run off.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing when you're flying over and you can see everything from, Vermilion left, right? So anything from Vermilion west, and the fucking lake is bright green. It looks like Chicago dyed their river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's DO. So your dissolved oxygen in the water. So what we fight every day is to make sure that when we release water into the stream alongside the plant, that it has lots of oxygen in it and no nutrients.
Yeah.
If you have nutrients and no oxygen, the nutrients are going to hit the lake, and then they're going to spawn growth, green algae, and that green algae is going to take all the oxygen out of the water. And then everything's going to die. And you're going to have toxins and stuff like that.
It is really horrifying to go and to see that. And then it's also horrifying because I swim in it constantly. And to have lost the ability, when I was a kid, you couldn't swim in Lake Erie and get any of the water in your face and drink it and not get sick. But for the past 20 years, I've been able to swim in Lake Erie. And if I get a mouthful of water, it's not the worst thing in the world. Right? It's no big deal. But now we're starting to get to the point now where it's not so good for you anymore. So we're getting a lot more red flag days at the beach.
Yeah. So when it comes to wastewater plants, it's all about what body of water you dump into, basically. Right. And so their outfall for Cleveland is Lake Erie. So it's so huge.
So massive.
You don't have as strict of rules because dilution is a solution for pollution. Right. So they don't have to, clean their effluent to the level that we do because we're just, our outfall goes right into a small creek.
And they're not dumping it 10 miles out.
Nope. They're dumping it 2 miles from the 5 mile crib.
Exactly.
Where they suck in the water
Where they take
to
the
make
water
fresh
in.
water.
The output and the input are dangerously close to each other. And it's just one of those things you're like,
They're actually, that's why the 5 mile crib is, because it's 5 miles out and getting good water where all the water next to the shore is shitty.
and which is
Literally.
the water we want to play in. So it's like, hey, let's have a water-based economy. Let's do cool lakefront shit.
Where
And
do
you're like,
where do
oh.
wastewater guys have their picnics on the beach? Because that's where I want to go.
I'm very happy with the beach at Conneaut. I mean, because they have a wastewater plant. It's actually right down there.
Yeah.
But when you look at the whole system up there, I mean, there's nobody on the beach. The city, they do a really good job of treating their water. And so, yeah.
Well, Hoffer freaked me out so bad when he was like, he goes, well, just don't go swimming after a big rainstorm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
see, that's like, I mean, a lot of those plants that dump into Lake Erie, that's a time to clean out all the solids.
yes.
So we got to, like the plants getting backed up here. We're getting a lot of dead, old microorganisms and stuff like that.
I know it's not possible, but now that he said that, I'm seeing things.
Let's just
So
blow
like,
it.
I go down to the pier and I'm like, okay, well, it was a hell of a storm the past 3 days, and now it's still. And normally I can see from our pier where you can look down 6 feet, and usually we can see the bottom. But I swear to God, after a good 2-3 day storm, you can't see the bottom no more. And I'm like, okay, that's all poo.
That's not silt.
My brain is now that's just poo.
And absolutely. And also, too, and there are situations whenever you basically, you get a lot of rainwater, and sometimes the two combine, the sewer systems combine.
Yeah.
So then everything's getting mixed and it goes right out into the lake.
There you go.
Poor Nick. He's thinking, I'm so glad
Well,
I'm
you
in
give it a
South
couple-
Central Nebraska.
But the beautiful thing is, Mother Nature's a powerful force, and UV, natural UV, and microorganisms that are living in the lake in a few days.
Chop it all down.
It's eutrophication, so not putrefaction. Eutrophication is the breakdown of nutrients.
Oh.
So if you throw nutrients into the environment, they get used up by microorganisms.
Utrefied.
Utrefied.
Eutrophication. I love it. You just learned something. ClevelandMoto podcast. How fucking weird that is.
Yeah, there's going to be a
Go
test.
Go figure, man.
This is going to be on the final.
Who thought
There's so
that
much
was going
more.
to be right? Some high-end shit right there.
High-end shit talking.
Thank you, Uncle
shit talking.
Jono.
Yeah, that is absolutely real. Anybody who is coming to the DGR ride in Cleveland, Ohio, will be surprised to find out that the Saturday night before, in the Department of Good Planning, is the 10th anniversary Skidmark Bash.
Sweet.
And Bash is going to be an accurate description of what's going on. Questions that
Is that going to be like a talent show where people can show up and perform?
yes,
Anything goes.
Absolutely.
John, they have a stage.
Yeah.
They have a stage.
You can do your Shakira act.
There'll be liquor involved. You can show up, stand up, go up there with your goddamn guitar, plug in. It is Skidmark. They will.
Get up, stand up.
Everybody's going to have a good time.
Up for your
The
ride.
funny thing is, all the people
Lay
coming
me
in from
up.
out of town are saying, "Can we sleep in the parking lot of Skidmark Garage?"
Only if you have your tent chopper. Like you just have to hang the blanket off the side of your
Chop a
chopper.
tent.
You're all good.
Ride your motorcycle,
Chop a tent.
and bring a tarp,
Yeah.
and make a chopper tent.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good
allowed.
idea.
I mean, we've all watched the bike riders. We know how they sleep.
We know
around.
how they sleep in the. Oh god, I just got a cringe shiver on that one. Oh man,
Sean's like, hold your tongue.
settle down. But so I guess people are saying that if you're brave enough, you can urban camp. The backyard of the parking lot of Skidmark is fenced in.
Yeah.
Enough people have been urban camping in
I
that
wish
area.
I still had my RV now.
Hell yeah, yeah.
It
No, I
is
don't.
fenced in, but it's also, you might be fenced in.
Yeah.
Well, with somebody.
It's-
Right. Fair enough.
It is just the old Cleveland
I've
twist.
never
road.
been afraid of a cage match, brother.
So it's like 52nd in Hamilton. If you haven't been there before, it's really super fun. It's a really good time. Do not expect to be taken care of. Take care of yourself. Show up with, if you need a 6er, if you need a 12er, if you need a 2-4, show up. Do not expect them to take care of you. This is not what we're doing here. This is a BYO Aerodam thing, right? Just be aware that it's up to you. Skidmark is based on the amazing energy of a hell of a lot of really cool people. but don't go in there and be little Mr. Pissy Pants when they don't have your particular IPA on tap, because that ain't the kind of party this is.
I mean, there's plenty of pine
Head
sol
over
in
to
the
Goldhorn
closet.
and get your own pissy pants.
Just fucking man up, show up, bring your own shit.
Yeah, and there's places nearby to procure stuff too.
There's
For sure.
literally Noble Beast is down the road.
So is Goldhorn up on
is-
55th.
Exactly, right. So there's some really good places if you want to wander out, or if you need to get a break from the burning rubber.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need to take a nap. Can you talk about that Harley Davidson bullshit you were talking about?
So the Harley Davidson thing, I wanted to bring this up only because we talked last week about fucking Harley Davidson's, brother. And so everybody's blaming Joachim Dietz about like how he ruined Harley Davidson. So the solution was, okay, we're going to get rid of him. We're going to force him to retire. I'm going to give him a bag of money and tell him to go fuck his hat. But nope, that wasn't enough. I didn't even know there was a thing called H Partners.
Yeah,
H Partners sounds like somebody who shares very expensive medication, right? Yeah, we're from the Dallas Buyers Club, and H Partners is right over there.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it is. I had
and it's not the kind of medication we like.
It's not the kind of fun
Preparation
medication.
H?
Yeah, Preparation H.
Yeah.
Right, Preparation H Partners. I had no idea. So H Partners Management, they own a 9% stake in the company.
A whopping 9%.
A whopping 9%.
It's like, fuck you guys.
Which in Cleveland we call that tax.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, fuck you guys.
Fuck you. 9% stake. And so they're saying, no. It's not enough that we got to retire that guy.
We have two thumbs.
We need to pick the new CEO. I'm sorry. What level of board member are you? Oh, you're not. You're just a fucking investment firm. You're an investment firm that somehow has managed to get 9% of Harley Davidson. Well, you know what? I got a Vanguard account. I get weird emails that say like, "We need you to vote on something," and I'm like, I own a chair in the lobby of that fucking business, and you're going to ask me to vote on the new CEO? You have misplaced your trust in my ability to make a decision regarding your company, shareholder or not.
Which stuffed shirt MBA do you want me to vote
Yeah,
for?
but the point being, these guys are an investment firm, and they feel like they should be involved in not just Zeitz, but they want to kick out 2 other board members. Now,
Yeah.
so one, you're not a board member, so fuck your hat. 2, you own 9% of the company all in, right? So, I mean, in my life, I've owned 10% of some things, right? But that didn't buy me a say in who got elected to the board and whatnot. Last thing I thought, the board members voted on the board. So if you want to be a member of a board, you vote. The board votes. They don't listen to these pricks over here, right?
Let's vote right now what we should do with Harley Davidson.
Well,
I put it to the floor.
right,
Should we
right. What should we
continue
do?
selling $30,000 Mega Ultra Super
Right,
Glides?
exactly.
Or should we sell something that people will buy?
That would be a great idea.
They should go back into lawn equipment again.
So
Golf carts,
Three-wheeled golf carts,
bowling alleys.
might look like a good idea right now.
try and go ahead. Dave Oster says, "Gotta bounce 4.99 for 500. Yay! $4.90 for 500 episodes since YouTube app is dumb and I can't get it to do 500 cents. Oh, that's hilarious. That is funny. The YouTube app is great, and he gave us 3 stars too. So Osterday, fucking hero, man, fucking hero. Absolutely love that shit. Zeitz did try to do this thing. He tried to bring in a 300 or 400 cc bike because fucking wake up call. Guess what? Triumph's selling all they can print.
I want to know what he had.
400cc bikes.
I want to know what he had to do with Livewire.
Well, so that.
Emma Johnson, so you're not checking out. I'm going to nap.
Well, hold on. So the Rewire program was that Harley Davidson was going to bring new riders into Harley Davidson by offering 3 things they had never offered. 1, an electric motorcycle. 2, electric bicycles. And electric stand-up kids scooters to get little kids on bikes that said Harley Davidson on the side of them. They wrote a contract with the people at Stasic, stand-up little, what do they call those? Kick bikes, right? Striders, right? And they're electric, and they run on like little DeWalt battery packs.
This is perfect.
Yeah, perfect, right? And so that was the idea, was to get people getting into a Harley Davidson when they were like fucking 2 years old or 3 years old.
Good night,
And
Jenna.
so you go from your little 3-year-old Stasic bike and you get into one of their small lightweight electric bikes. And then you can get into their live wire if you're so inclined. Or maybe you buy a Sportster. Well, it doesn't matter. The point is...
Wait a minute, wait. And maybe you buy a Sportster. That's kind of a big jump.
Well, the idea would be, in the 60s, Harley-Davidson said, we're going to offer 125s. In the 50s, they said, we're going to do the Harley-Davidson Hummer. Right? We're going to do a 125cc motorcycle. There were 50cc Harleys. There were 70cc Harleys. There were 90cc Harleys. There were 350cc Harleys that you could stepping stone, bop, 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 and you could go from the 350 to the 750, right? So a lot of people that owned the Sprint, a lot of people that had the Aramaki Sprint did eventually step up to the 750 Sportster. That was a thing you could do. You could walk into your Harley dealership and say, trade in your 350 that goes 75, 80 miles an hour, and you could get onto a 750 Sportster that could go 85 or 90 miles per hour. That's a logical progression. Harley-Davidson had you from the time you were this big till you were dead. Like, they literally offered a bike for you from the baby 50cc bike all the way up to the bike that takes you to your funeral. Right?
And you kept buying.
And you kept buying. And you had a collection of belt buckles and T-shirts and boots and garters and all kinds of crap to go with it. And your dog drank out of a Harley-Davidson fucking bowl.
Meanwhile, a Honda, 350 cc's or bigger, will do 100 miles an hour.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna go back and say, oh yeah, and Harley was better in 1969 because they weren't. They became challenged. They became a problem. And that's why Harley-Davidson, in the AMF years, did bring in a bunch of stuff that was Italian built or Indian built or whatever and stuck their badges on it, right? Because they needed to be competitive against the Japanese bikes. And they knew that they couldn't build a 350 in Milwaukee that was going to be able to be priced against a Japanese Yamaha or a Honda. So they did what they could.
They should have just bought one of the big four. I mean, if they'd have just done that 50 years ago, bought Kawasaki or Suzuki.
And instead what they were doing is they were buying products from other manufacturers and putting their badges on it.
John,
right?
Instead of buying Italian companies like Americi or Italojet.
Yeah, I mean, they
should have bought a Japanese company.
Transistorized radios will never catch on.
Well, but what I think is, I don't think that Honda
Cybertrucks are rusting.
I don't think Honda was interested in selling.
No.
And I don't think Yamaha was interested in selling.
No, you're probably right.
So I don't think these companies wanted to sell. I think those companies wanted to continue to do what they were doing.
Not that you're probably right. You are right.
Those companies built things before they built motorcycles.
Yeah.
In most cases. And they built other things other than motorcycles.
And they're still building them.
Yeah, they are. And they really are. Now, Harley-Davidson did try with the Rewire program. The idea was to start hitting customers.
I don't think very hard. I mean, like the Livewire program, I mean, like, it's silly. I mean, but I mean, how many Livewires did they actually sell? 500?
Not enough. Not remotely nearly enough.
I mean, they're museum pieces before they're collector's items. Like, it was like, they should have been numbered.
Do we think that
you've got the 500th, the last, and the 500th Livewire,
the Foundation Series Livewire?
I think we know those guys. Actually,
and did you ever see any of the bicycles or scooters in a dealership? I never. I don't go into Harley dealerships, so I wouldn't know. They actually were there.
They had them at Mid Ohio last year. Last year.
And they had them at the AMX.
I'm an itinerant marketplace person, and I've never seen one on Marketplace, so they must not have sold very many.
No, they were just
obnoxiously priced.
That's going to be like the Honda Kick and Go.
Yeah, it is going to be like the Honda Kick and Go. Yep, absolutely. It's going to be a thing that existed. Nobody's going to remember it. You could buy. I remember when I was a small person that you could buy non-gasoline powered, human powered Hondas, the Kick and Go. Yeah. They had a bicycle. They had a bunch of different things at the Honda dealership that were badged out as Hondas. Sure. So that's a thing that exists.
And Honda's been selling all kinds of
stuff. I think Harley should make an MX bike. Damn straight. So,
and it seems like a lot of people are getting in on that. So Triumph did it. Mm-hmm. Ducati's doing it.
They are doing it.
Ducati's bringing a fucking 450 in. And
isn't Honda doing the electric Grom?
I don't.
Or is that
I saw something about an e-Grom.
Yeah,
where's Grom Beardo?
Yeah, where is Aaron? Come on, man. But not to deviate too far. Remember, there was a Harley-Davidson 500 in the last 15 years.
No, there was not. Tell me what more
Street
about
500.
This. Oh.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the Armstrong.
Right. Well, no, we're not going to talk. That's a fucking stupid deep dive right there. But then there was the Street 750. So those were two motorcycles that Harley Davidson put their name on. They bought an Indian product. They threw their name on it. They sold it to the dealerships, mostly because Buell went away and they needed a bike for their training program. So they're bringing them in. That's fine. They're going to be for the training program. And then you sell a few of them. It's fine. It's an entry-level motorcycle.
Where does Harley Davidson compete? The only place they compete now is because of the Battle of the Baggers. But they don't have a GP bike. Yeah. They don't have a motocross bike. They don't have a quad runner. They don't have shit.
Flat track. They took them out.
They took them out.
Yeah,
they took them out.
They don't have shit.
They don't. Yeah, it's true. They're not winning on Sunday and selling on Monday. So they're not doing that for fuck's sake. But when Zeitz
that number one red, white, and blue little flag plate you have, throw it in the fucking garbage.
Well, they haven't earned it in a really long time, Chris.
Throwing haymakers.
I thought John was going to sleep during the
I thought John was going to sleep too. He is fired up
now, man.
Fueled by gin.
Oh shit!
And anger.
It's I'm trying.
He's bringing the thunder.
500.
He's bringing the thunder.
Usually it's me talking shit about Harley. He's on it tonight.
Well, yeah.
He's right. Hooligan class. They do the hooligan class.
That's right. They do the hooligan class. That's absolutely right. Zeitz
I don't know who that was, but shut the fuck up.
Go fuck your head.
Settle down, John.
So Zeitz wrote the contract with QJ that was going to give him the 400cc, and that did. And that bike does exist in other markets.
Give me a CB500X, and I'll beat any Harley into the ground.
Well,
on any surface you want to race
on every knowable surface.
John, how about a Hooters parking lot?
Sure. Fuck yeah.
Gauntlets just being thrown all over the damn place.
But he's a Harley grumbler.
Board track.
So you guys might remember.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Not at all.
That $100,000 Harley will smoke.
Oh, the king of the bagger, king of the bagger of the king of the baggers.
$110,000.
He's back, baby. He's back.
Is that what it was?
We talked about it.
Yeah, the 100. Yeah, that one.
It's the mega bagger.
Are you sure?
Right, it's the mega
It's
bagger.
like 189 horsepower, dude.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
With Olin suspension.
But can it put it to the road?
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh, shut up.
So I hate you and your facts. Now you're going to try to use science on me or something.
Wow.
No, we're going to do one better. We're going to go gay.
Ooh.
So,
Sean, help me.
Happy 500 indeed.
So you guys might not.
Yeah, we've been one way for 500 episodes. Let's try something new.
Yeah,
It's time to switch it up.
Y'all
Poor Nick is over there thinking, what the fuck did I get myself into here?
slow moving.
I've listened to 499 of these.
I miss my little buddy Nick DeVito.
This is why Sleepy's got the pink jacket on.
It is. So not too long ago, a bunch of Harley owners shot their motorcycles with machine guns.
Hold on a second. Let's pour one out for the ex-podcast guys who can't be here.
Oh my God!
Absolutely.
Yes. Dustin, Shane.
Let's Dustin, Shane,
all of them.
Nick DeVito can't be here tonight.
Oscar.
Oh my God! I cried.
Dan Cromney couldn't even be here.
Oh my God!
Johnny Chrome.
I fucking miss you
All
guys.
you guys,
Where
man.
the fuck are you?
We miss you a lot.
Great.
You know what makes me kind of sad too?
My life's not
Remember the other
same.
Chris that got us the microphone?
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes, Chris Franklin. Yeah.
Chris Franklin.
Yeah.
They need to.
Oh man, we do owe a lot to the people who helped get us.
I need one to pour one out, man. Give me anything.
I'm not gonna pour one out. I'm gonna pour it in my throat though.
I'm not at the point where I care what I fucking drink right now.
Except for that.
John's allergic to non-alcoholic beers.
Well,
It's all right.
what is funny when we'd be in Dustin's basement with like me and James Robertson,
Whatever you give me.
and like Dustin, Shane Post would pop in, and it wasn't real regular. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit this every Friday night or whatever.
I need a goddamn twisted tea right now.
Oh yeah, right. No, you need a Natter Days, pink Natter Days.
Oh, Natter Days would go great right now.
Oh, a Natter Days. When we would record,
What the fuck you doing, Tom?
What do
I
you
don't have a
need?
drink.
it would always
Do you want a gin and tonic? You want something else? You're really gingered up.
I'll just take a beer.
yeah.
Give me the spicy pickle.
Okay, yeah, from Nebraska.
Spicy pickle.
No, that's from Nebraska, so I'll try that.
You should try that.
Yeah,
That
let me get
sounds-
one. Yeah,
I hope it's not a metaphor, though.
Shawnee, give me two. Give me a spicy pickle too. Let me try.
Nice.
This sounds
So
like
you
he's
brought these in?
I did, yeah.
You brought spicy pickles
The
in?
copper alt and the spicy pickle. Yeah.
I'd like a spicy pickle.
Yeah.
Make a good
Not your spicy pickle,
I was gonna
Sean.
say-
Make a good red beer.
Oh my God, man!
I'll take a.
You are literally asking the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be working your gherkin in no time flat.
So this is
That's a ball house.
Well, you said a mouthful there.
Didn't we all?
Zipline Brewing Spicy Pickle.
Anyone else need anything?
Mr. Loco, say something, Nick.
Smith would like a
I don't
spicy
know.
pickle.
Hey, tell us about this drink we're about to drink.
It's interesting.
Okay.
Like I said, it makes a good red beer.
Oh,
Zipline's out of Lincoln.
All right.
Lincoln,
Your
Nebraska.
feedback is?
Home of the Huskers.
That's what I know.
tastes like beer and pickle water.
Yeah, basically.
It's a pickleback.
I
This way,
can't do
this
anything
way.
with it, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of good though. You know what I mean? I need to dip a cheeseburger in that.
Yeah,
It keeps your electrolytes up,
It's
too.
got a good personality.
I love the urban artifact. Spicy
Pays its
pickles.
bills on time.
I have to try this one.
It's a nice, reputable.
Guaranteed to break the ice at parties.
Guaranteed to break the...
Do you poop out
Hey,
of
do you,
pickles?
mind, do you mind if I slip you the pickle?
I don't, Brian.
I'll give you a nickel if you tickle my pickle. I'll give you a dime if you take your time.
We were just talking about you working his gherkin earlier. You know, jerking, working, twerking.
Jerkin, gherkin, whatever.
Be careful of the flirking. Again, Thrust and Justin.
Look at that,
Once
Johnny.
you get past the smell, you got it licked.
You got it licked.
So,
Boy, do we have a lot of taglines.
yeah, we do. Indeed he does. Yes, indeed he does.
Fuck motorcycles. Let's talk about stupid shit.
Oh, I said go fuck your hat in front of a customer the other day. Oh, that was, I couldn't make that go back in my mouth.
Oops.
That was a,
Sale made.
fuck, man. Oh, Jesus.
Did you tell them to go fuck
No,
their
I
hat, or
didn't
did you just
tell him
say
to go
so?
fuck
Okay.
his hat. He was getting some shit from one of his motorcycle friends about him, potentially wanting to buy a Vespa. And meanwhile, we know all kinds of great people that have Vespas in the garage with their other motorcycles.
And they're not
Getting the
even gay,
Vespers.
most of the other ones.
Well, okay, right?
Yes.
So,
Ow.
dude comes in. Now, this is to put this in perspective. This guy's a 30-year veteran of a very large package delivery service. They only deliver large packages.
Oh,
I'm
tell
listening.
me more.
I think I've done contract work for them.
No man says, getting to hang out with y'all was amazing and always a great time. Thanks for all the fun. And throws $20 on the fire. Oh my God. That's not his first time to the trough tonight either, my friends.
Thank you very much. No
Thank you for all the money, too.
So this very
No
large
matter what everybody
package
says
getting
about you,
delivered.
you're awesome.
You are awesome.
This package you're getting delivered.
This dude shows up and his wife in there and everything else. And so he's like, well, I really want to buy this bike. I really want to buy this Vespa. But I got to say, I've had the same Harley Davidson since 2010, right? So he's got a 2010 Road King, a bike I like. I like Road Kings. I'm a fan of the bigger, girthier Harleys. And so Road King,
He said girth.
it is all girth.
It is all the girth.
In fact, a Road King is just girth.
Be honest, it's one of the Harleys I would be interested in owning.
It is,
Funny, John. You know
Right.
what we have on the floor right now?
strangely enough.
It's hard to say no.
Well, I don't want to spend money for it.
No, but you can borrow it whenever you like.
Exactly.
So the guy basically says, he goes, the problem is, I worked at this shop, a union shop, and everybody there rides Harleys. Everybody there rides Harleys. And he goes, so when I said I want to get a Vespa, these guys immediately gave him 9, whatever, right? And I was like, dude, the point being, I have a bunch of friends that I ride around with. We all have 83 different kinds of motorcycles, all of us. A shit ton of us also have Vespas because they're super fun. They go faster than you think they do. And they're remarkably fun and practical, and they're just cool to ride around on. They're just fucking fun.
Why doesn't Harley Davidson make a scooter?
Well, they did.
They used to.
Well, I mean, in this century.
I know. Good point.
Well, let's talk. Do you have 9% of the company?
Right. If you have 9% of the... This is turning into a classic where it just says there. And he spent $5 to say that, by the way. That was it. Totally bribe your way to the top.
That's a good $5.
Here's to you, motherfucker.
Well done, Swangen. Cocksucker. But the guy comes in, he's like, oh yeah, whatever, my buddies and everything. I was like, dude, anybody who tells you that it's not cool to ride a Vespa, you just tell like, go fuck your hat. And I just realized that his wife was in the showroom, and I was feeling pretty comfortable in the situation. And I said that, and Renee just fucking audibly gasped. Right? She was just like, fuck. Like, he's become too comfortable in his own environment.
Instantly,
somebody
squirrels were in the building again.
You should be completely comfortable in your own environment.
You know, this is why, since I'm big almighty motorcycle mechanic, yada, 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 I have tassels.
Right.
I have rainbow tassels.
Oh, we bring that up at the shop all the time.
Tassels are for titties only.
You know, I would like to buy a scooter, but are buddies good scooters? I was like, well, my mechanic has one, Renee has one, and I have one. We all fucking have buddy scooters. We all think they're just great. You can't kill a buddy scooter no matter what you do. My mechanic's buddy scooter's out there. Yeah, the one with literally Barber Racetrack's outline on it and tassels, you know, and a make noise pipe. Yep. So, yeah, they're good bikes.
And it was lightly crashed a few times, like, and it's still going and it's running and it's doing what it's supposed to.
Okay. Every single buddy should come with a sticker on it that says Mid-Ohio tested.
Yep.
Right.
Because no complaints. Zero complaints.
I've had that buddy out at the property, and we rode it around, like, blown up, blowing smoke and everything.
Yeah.
No, she's still chuffing away, no problem.
Yeah.
It just kills the mosquitoes now.
Yes, sir.
What's the status on the Beavers?
The Beavers?
Do you still have Beavers on the floor?
They beep.
No. The only person I know, we will talk shop for a moment. The only person I know that still has Beavers is Chicago Motorworks, and what they did was they de-Beavered their Beavers, and they redid them in Chicago White Sox and
white and black
socks. Yeah, they did them in. I don't know baseball, but they did them in baseball livery. So
Cubs.
they did.
They just put Cub stickers on them.
I don't fucking know, but they did something, all right? So, yeah. So they did them in baseball livery, and so one of them is whatever Chicago's team is, and the other one is whatever. They're both baseball inspired. So they both have baseball livery on them. So they're white bikes, and now they have something contrasting on them. That was his technique, because the rest of us were like, no, fuck you, that shit's toxic, we're not buying them. And Vespa kept lowering the prices. So he was like, screw it, I'll take 6.
Choke.
And he took 6, and he made them into like pit bikes, but they're also teamed up. They're all, team spirit.
I love the entire time it was in the showroom. You all would look at me whenever I'd walk within 5 feet of it and go, no.
Just fucking no.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Are there any rules like, okay, so like, in the 70s and maybe even as late as the 80s, like Yanko and places like that would take Camaros and they'd have like the Yanko Camaro, right? Mm-hmm. Can you do that? Can you have like the ClevelandMoto fucking GTS 300?
Do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I can do whatever the hell I want. And a lot of dealers do. And a lot of dealers, myself included, when we have dogs, bikes that we can't sell for whatever reason, the flat black Vespa GTS Super, when it first came out, it's a chalkboard, man. Like, it is where light goes to die. You can't see any of the sexy curves on that bike. Mm-hmm. It is just like, well, I guess there's a bike over there in that shadow, right? So why bother making a sexy motorcycle in Italy if you can't see any of the lines on it?
So that's when it becomes a more special.
That's when it becomes, literally, it became the Wounded Warrior bike. Because we're like, okay, we're going to donate a bike to the Wounded Warrior thing. So what are we going to donate? Oh, the cocksucker we can't sell, right? So the bike that we can't sell for 18 months, that's the one that's getting donated. We're not going to donate the prime shit that people are lining up to buy. If we're not going to make any money on a bike, we're going to lose money on a bike. Might as well lose money on a bike nobody's going to buy.
Right, and it's still a good bike.
And then we call Kevin Moore up, and he drops,
Right.
Yeah, he drops a case of fucking pinstripes on it.
Have you ever considered making a testicle bike?
They're all testicle bikes, John. They're all testicle bikes. You got to have balls to ride a Vespa. It's absolutely
truck nuts. I need to put truck nuts on the back of my buddy.
I got them on my Harley.
There we go.
Yeah, I got little gold ones. Yeah, they're like cute though. They're like little tiny. They're like Tanuki nuts. They're baby ones. Yeah, they're cute.
Not bull testicles.
No, they're pretty tiny.
Squirrel nuts.
They're squirrel nut zippers. Yeah,
Squirrel
right.
nut zipper. Yeah.
I've got to say, like, when it comes to the doing of outlandish shit, owning my own shop and being able to do that kind of silly stuff has been one of my favorite things ever. But it's also very fun when somebody comes in and is like, yeah, I just traded my fucking Harley Davidson in on a Vespa and we're cool with that. Because 25 years ago, we were still on our first store on Lorraine and West 122nd, the little church, the church shop. It was 700 square feet.
I have a beef.
Go ahead, beef.
My beef is that you've never put a scooter on top of the shop. I've always been pissed off.
Did he not get the
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I don't know.
Well, my friend,
Did you put a scooter on
about
top
to
of
be
the...
happy. No, we got a scooter though.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to put it up on
We're
top
going
of
to
the
put it
shop?
up. So we're going to
Fuck
rig it up with LED lights
On a cross?
Hadn't thought about the cross.
Maybe not a good idea.
It has to be on a platform.
yeah.
So some sort of a plinth.
Wheelwrecky inflatable tubes.
Okay, just to make sure we don't offend anybody, we'll just do it on the St. Andrews.
No, but hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Like,
What
why
if
is
you
there
got
not...
a really bad beat up half a Harley, and then the scooter was like spearing it, like it was like doing a wheelie and spearing the Harley.
No. Let's just keep it simple.
Now you're getting real involved.
Let's keep it simple. I want it to look like a bike that people are like, no, I kind of want that bike. But meanwhile, it's blown up. It's not.
It's a modern Vespa.
Hose it down with some fucking
It's
clear
gonna be-
coat or something
it's
so it'll
gonna
look
be-
nice forever.
Bright red.
Maybe have it lit up.
Basically-
if you could have the headlight, tail light lit
Already
up.
bought.
Fuck yeah.
We're good on this.
Already paid for
Okay,
it.
so you're finally fucking
What
doing
about
the right
the
thing.
what about the wheel spinning illusion
Jesus,
and
it's
the
taking you so long.
tailpipe smoke?
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta have like the old coffee shops. You have the tailpipe just smoking.
Okay, now you're getting carried away. You're getting carried away. Stop it now.
Settle down.
You know what we're going to do is we're going to have our 500th episode, and we're going to have it in Boca Raton, and we're going to have, there'll be dancing girls and koala bears and all kinds of
more.
We're going to do more and more. And then we're going to play
dancing
tequila,
girls.
and then
Yeah.
Steve Hoffer's just going to say tequila. And that's gonna be it. And this going to be it. And I was like, you guys are a fountain of good ideas.
Hold on, I was trying to facilitate most of these until I was shut down.
I know you were.
Okay, well, thank you.
But I'm also
Runaway
one of these-
podcast.
I'm one of these guys that is all about like I don't want my fucking my what do they say that I don't want my reach to extend beyond my grasp, right? I really like to keep things
Don't
attainable.
jump the shark.
Dude, I had 3 semis of shit have to turn around. It was,
I think my idea of
All
having
the girls, I mean, like,
having
sorry.
a show on top of the roof of the building like the Beatles. I think that was the way to go.
That's
but that
probably doable.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't go through what's the
Left of it?
$20,000 roof I
What's
put up
left
there.
of it?
Right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but yeah, we're putting a bike up on that. We're going to put a scooter up on the roof, and my other debate is whether or not we're going to put a bike up there too. So
Head to head,
yeah, head to head.
or nuts the butt.
That's
Maybe we
fine.
do it right.
Yeah.
Doing like this, just
Yes.
I mean, there are
the
a couple-
Vespa is definitely
Leaving
the
each
top in
the
that
Vespa
case.
humming a Harley. Yes, exactly.
There are a couple of mannequins laying around. We could just put the mannequin on that.
The joke that
Or
I
the skeleton.
had was we could decorate those bikes seasonally.
Oh,
Excuse me, what joke did you have?
We could decorate the bike seasonally. And I like decorating things seasonally. I think that's cool. I mean, I have a 12-foot skeleton in my yard that's fucking a
You're one of those guys.
now it's wearing an Easter
Oh
bunny
no, I
outfit.
think
Is it wearing a Donald Trump toupee right now?
no, but
Do you
after
just-
September 1st, I'm
It blew off in
authorized
the
to
wind.
put the skeleton up. And so from September 1st until Thanksgiving, we've got a 12-foot skeleton having sex with a Japanese K-truck.
Most people
And
in
then-
Lakewood are just leaving them up all year long
They
and
are.
redressing them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to be that guy.
You don't abide.
I don't want to be that guy. That's it. The neighborhood likes it when they go up, and then we just make all the skeletons every year. We make the skeletons do dumber shit. So that's it. So now we'll be able to have things on our roof doing dumb shit, and with electricity lighting it up.
I love
Super
it.
fun. I know it's really exciting.
Great idea.
I feel really weird here.
I'm glad I thought of it.
leaving the party lights on. Like in New Orleans, I just left them on all the time and just changed the colors. Here,
I
it's
like how
weird.
you were just like, I got a bone to pick. 25 years you've been in business, and there's no fucking bike on top of the roof. Meanwhile, when we were in Lakewood, we had a 18-foot tall inflatable scooter on the roof of our building
I remember that, I think.
until the weather just destroyed it.
He is spicy
I'm
tonight.
going to let you know an 18-foot tall inflatable scooter is not cheap.
I was going to ask you, that had to be like $5,000 or $6,000.
I had to steal it from Malaguti. Got lost in shipping. I have no idea what happened. It was weather damaged or something.
It's right next to the missing Lambretta prototype.
Oh no, that's one that did get away. That's a time I should have stole something, but it did. I was being ethical. Fuck that.
I wonder if they've ever found that hexagon.
I bought that. I paid money for that.
Fair and square.
I bought that fair and square.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
bot that fair and square from Phil McCaleb, rest his soul.
Oh, I thought that fell off the boat.
No, that was
Speaking of pouring one out, man.
So anyhow,
You need to get a hot plate with some old Castrol
Miss you,
two-stroke
Oscar.
oil.
Yes, we could just perpetually have that. Right. Yeah, we could. I mean, but the point being, once it's on the roof, we can do all kinds of dumb shit with it. Yeah.
Yes.
But the idea is we really need to do the Krylon King and just make it as red as anything's
Whoa.
ever been read.
I mean,
No, it's
the 2K King.
it can be a 40-footer because
I'm
the
just
fucking
saying,
roof's 30 feet tall.
Blast it with
right.
2K and it'll never rust.
It'll be
That is
fine.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll paint the seat. It's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the only people are going to get a good look things are birds and squirrels.
It's all
Gonna
red.
get it dipped.
Yep.
Exactly.
I don't know. After this week, the squirrels are probably going to ride off of the dam.
That's funny too. Yeah. My only question was when I got that thing, and
It's about time you finally listened to me.
and it's probably only lightly stolen. Like I think it's been filtered through a couple of people, but the point is we're going to take the motor out of the thing. Who knows what status? Okay, I made it. What did I miss?
Oh god! Oh, you're gonna have to rewind back to the balls, and
rewind.
the cocks and
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah, we've been on a testicle frenzy over here.
Cock and ball cast.
It'll be fun though, having the bikes up there and
Oh,
being
yeah,
able to do stupid
absolutely.
shit to them. So that's fun.
Yeah.
And but I figured out. I did the math. I have to put them on 4 foot tall platforms. So the bikes have to, because we have a parapet around the top of our building. So we have to put about a 3 to 4
got a
foot tall platform,
platform, yeah.
so that from the street you'll be able to see them correctly.
We're gonna need like 6 Stellas. I mean, I've got the auto out there. We can go ahead and use that one. So it's 5
wonder-
Stellas, and we build the spike.
pyramid.
We build the spike.
We built the Chicago
I wonder,
Spike.
what if you did this? What if you brought it out and over?
No.
So like they were
cantilevered.
No.
No.
That could be too
gets
much.
the city involved.
Dude,
How about a rotating platform?
Gets the city involved.
Dude, that building's made of brick
This
and is
needs
about
to
100
look
years
like
old.
somebody just it's always been up there.
Stripper pole?
It needs to look like some college kids came and put a scooter up on the roof of my building, and people go, "I think you got a permit for that," because I promise you, having tried to put signs on at least 7 buildings, because I've been in 7 different buildings. That getting a sign, even a sign on a place where there used to be a sign, can take 18 months.
It's always better to just do it and
That's
then don't
right.
ask for permission.
Yes.
You know, that whole thing.
Beg forgiveness rather than ask for permission.
It is just better to do it.
Yep.
And if we do it and it's up there and it's cool, then that'll be great. Everybody can have a good time. Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be very funny too the first time somebody from the city realizes it's up there and pops in. Because I did lightly look at the book about like something hanging off your building needs to have like 7 engineers sign off of it and make sure that it's structurally fine and safe. But just setting something on your roof
Kakasaka.
falls. I'm completely going to go into that. This is just a Christmas decoration. Like it's blow molded.
You're just having a sale.
It's just a blow molded thing. If you want to go up and prove to me that it's not made of plastic, you're welcome to do so. But you won't get past the concertina wire and all the other bullshit.
I can't lend you my ladder.
The plastic the
Dude's like, no problem, as he pulls out his
landmine
pocket drone and throws it in the air.
The landmine of pop-off plastic bottles all over the
Yes, yeah. Our neighbors in the high rise have made sure that our roof is bedazzled with vodka bottles.
Yes.
And I didn't know anybody drank pop-off vodka.
Oh god, it's like mouthwash bottles, but with vodka labels.
God, man, there's so many of them there. So I think what they're doing is they're drinking on the 8th floor, and they're just like, let's see if we can get it all the way to ClevelandMoto. And apparently somebody's got an arm.
Oh, somebody's got an arm, man.
Because I don't ever see them in the grass. I always see them on the roof.
It always
They're
gets
making
there.
it. Yeah, and it's nice though because they don't throw the glass bottles.
Right.
So that's nice. They're just the plastic ones. So that's cool. And they don't clog up the drains. So that's nice too. It's cool. Yeah, right.
So do you know why women should masturbate with these 2 fingers? Because they're mine.
Nice.
You know what you need to circumcise a whale?
No, I don't.
Foreskin divers.
I think that was last week. I think we heard that one last
We're
week.
going to repeat it.
Are you recycling?
Hear about the skinny guy that moved to Alaska? He came back a husky fucker. Do you know why Hitler didn't drink?
He's a mean drunk.
It made him mean. Do you know how to get rid of unwanted pubic hair?
Spit it out.
Spit it out.
I'm telling you, these are.
What's the excess skin around a woman's vagina? The woman.
How do you tell when your girlfriend's fat? She can fit in your wife's clothes.
Yeah.
I think that was last week.
How do you know when the?
You are recycling.
Do you know why the pervert crossed the road?
This is dick with caught in a chicken.
There you go.
Oh my God.
How to tell when your wife is dead? The sex is the same, but the dishes pile up.
But yeah, that one was recycling.
Oh, they're all from.
They're all recycled.
He's
found the same list.
Those of you that didn't. Of you that didn't tune in.
I'm
last
still
week,
tuned in. I'm still tuned
What's
in.
the last thing you want to hear when you're blowing Willie Nelson?
I'm not Willie Nelson.
That one was good.
Do you know how many times Sleepy's heard that?
Twice.
What's the last thing you want to hear?
He's heard it at least twice. If he had a nickel for every time he heard "I'm not Willie Nelson" while blowing Willie Nelson, he'd have 2 nickels. Which
What's the last thing?
It's happened twice.
What's the last thing you want to hear when you're getting your prostate checked? Look, no hands.
Guy goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, "I got bad news. You haven't got long to live." The guy says, "How long do I got?" Doctor says, 10.
10.
Says, 10 what?
9. 8.
Guy goes to the doctor. He's got with 2 carrots sticking out of his nose. The doctor says, "You haven't been eating right."
Again, that's another one of those.
So hey, are we talking about Royal Enfield or no?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Guy goes to the doctor.
Get there.
Royal Enfield sold 1 million bikes. Blah 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 blah.
No, dude, they sold 1 million bikes in the first quarter.
Guy goes to the
Blah,
doctor.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
Doctor says, "I got bad news.
Love that breaking news.
You've got cancer. And you've got Alzheimer's." The guy says, "Well, at least I don't have cancer."
Oh, goody, we broke Sleepy. Good.
Lady takes a hinge to the Home Depot counter and says, "You want a screw for that?" She says, "No, but I'll blow you for the toaster."
Yes.
All right, that's the end of it.
That's into that.
The
reason I wanted to bring the reason I brought up Royal Enfield was just that everybody in the world is like, oh yeah, you sell 1 million motorcycles, that's a big deal. When Honda sold their 1,000,000th motorcycle, they were like fucking 15 years in, right? When these companies have hit that 1 million bike milestone, that's a big goddamn deal. So it's always been astonishing, right? When you have a company that is just, and we were talking about what can you do to make people buy your bikes? Well, you can make bikes that cocksuckers can afford. That's a pretty good start.
Cheap's always a great start.
Cheap is a very good fucking, to be able to put something on the market that your clients can buy, that people can fucking own.
I mean, there's a reason why Walmart has been successful. Nobody goes to Walmart because they like it.
How about this? How many people bought Hyundais in 1992?
Exactly.
That's a great concept,
right?
What can I sell to what can I sell to poor people?
Yeah.
If I can sell it to poor people, I can sell it to anybody.
I can sell to poor people and then get really good at it.
I mean, I knew a guy that had like five Excels with about 10,000 miles a piece on them because that's all they would do.
But my mom had like a first gen Hyundai.
Oh yeah, the Excel and the Perspire. No, it was the
Perspire.
Coupe.
Hyundai Perspire.
I bought. So I was going to Akron U, and I had a Firebird, and it was getting like 7 miles to the gallon, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I can't have this." Like I was driving too much, right? So I sold it, and I got enough money to buy a Honda Hurricane. And then a fucking Hyundai Excel, like the original, the 4-speed, no overdrive, no nothing, no radio,
Oh my,
nothing, man.
The full stripper.
It would do 73 miles an hour floored in 4th gear at like 92,000 RPMs. It was and that's when my DJ career was first starting. So people would be like, "Hey, do you want to play the bathroom in Texas?" And I'd be like, "Yep,
I will go there."
And I'd take off and go.
We'll go there.
So I put 100,000 fucking miles on that car in 2 years. But when it hit 100,000 miles, it stopped working.
Right.
That was it. 100,000, and like it was like all the bearings unbearinged.
Yeah.
And
I just realized
100,000 at 99200 RPM is like 400,000.
Probably right. You're probably
What is that in dog years?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we do the math? We used to joke all the time about when you're talking about Japanese motorcycles versus American motorcycles, it was the difference between metric and standard. So you could be like, "Oh, well, my Japanese motorcycle has 100,000 miles on it." You're like, yeah, that's what they do. Well, my American motorcycle has 60,000 miles on it. Oh, you need a new motorcycle, right? Because like
my Ducati has 10,000 miles on it. Oh, you need a motor rebuild.
like 5,000 miles ago.
Yeah, you just need a really expensive service. It was shocking me, but you talk about build it cheap. Build it cheap. Hyundai entered the U.S. market. I looked it up. Hyundai entered the U.S. market in 1986, right? That's. I think they were still selling Yugos, right?
Yeah.
They were.
That was just before the Yugo in it.
Around the same era.
The same era.
It's like the
Close.
exact same time.
That's getting close to buy one, get one free years.
Yes, and you're right, because but what they did is, like John said, do something to build a cheap bike, build a cheap thing. Okay, you're absolutely right, because by 2002, those guys built a factory in the United goddamn States in Montgomery, Alabama. So building cheap shit and building a lot of cheap shit and making some money on it, they didn't build a factory in China. Those weirdos built a factory in the United States
And employed 13-year-olds.
I have no idea, dude. I do not have any idea.
It worked for Kia,
no
too.
idea.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
kind of
So-
the same thing.
Well, Kia and Hyundai are kind
Same.
of.
But
like
now
this.
you can buy fancy Kias and Hyundais.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when the Rio came out. Everyone was like, "Oh my god! Wow, sure. I guess you
What's
could get one."
The Hyundai Genesis. Let's build a Lexus, but
I
cheap.
can't wait till after the podcast to ride that Moto Guzzi Mortadella.
The Mortadella.
I'm gonna ride the shit out of that bike. I'm fucking fuck that shit out. I'm gonna ride the shit out of that
Hey,
thing.
hey, if you're gonna ride a Moto Guzzi, you got to start talking with your hands.
I'm going to ride the Moto Morini Fajul.
Bop it and bippy.
I want to ride that Buffangul.
When you sign the title, it gives you the
The Piaggio Fangu. Yeah. Hey, it's better than the new Vespa Stugats. That's what they should fucking do, is they should start building fun, cool bikes in the USA.
Hey, you remember what that Moto Guzzi was called?
All of them?
The
Which
WAP?
ones? The WAP. It was literally called the WAP. Pronounce it right, Tom.
WAP.
It's WAP.
Yeah.
It's literally WAP.
You had that at Mid-Ohio for a bunch of years.
And he sold it.
I'm still pissed I sold
That's
it.
like IT.
I'm still angry.
Does Moto Morini make you put a sign up front?
No.
I was going to say,
They're
'cause
very
like,
reasonable.
They don't
people
even
might
make us- they don't
mistake
even
you
make
for
us
like the
so
white supremacist like area to meet. Like those fucking.
Do you mean the Eagles?
Yeah, those are a little scary.
But
I got in so much trouble for that.
I just thought
I
it
heard
was
they're
funny.
just
The
coming
guy's
out with
telling
a
us
new
about his
model, the
mom
SS.
dying and everything else. And John busts out. He's like, "So, have you always had a Nazi slogan? Don't you think that's a little Third Reichy?"
It's really funny that we now have all the Eagles.
I mean, yeah, it's in again. You can staple it on your building.
John's just like, that logo you have up there. It's like, I don't know what's going on with that logo.
Well, that's been around since 1939.
Right,
you mean like right before the war? You mean like when Italy was allies with the Germans?
That's what he said. He goes, the company started in 1937. There wasn't a lot good happening in Italy in 1937.
Just wait for the super sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit that right on the nose.
Going
So
for
is
lightning.
that the same time Volkswagen started building cars?
And if you save up the Moto Morini stamp book, you'll be able to.
Show up to rally. Go, pip us, please.
There's a reason. There's a reason I was in Vegas.
Yes.
No,
And that was the reason.
Tell me, Renee does that every time now.
He
She
brought
hands
the
the receipt
numbers.
when you sell one.
Right.
Renee has to hand them the receipt.
Oh, yeah.
Here are your papers.
Yep, pip us.
The Peppers?
Then come on, that should be happening at the BMW dealer every
yeah,
goddamn
it's true,
time.
man.
Seriously. Like, why that's not happening is beyond me.
They don't want to bring that back. It's like going into Prada and going, you know what?
I promise you. I assure you.
How many
These
Jews?
boots are very leathery.
Yeah, we know
The
the
Hugo
joke.
Boss
We know the
edition?
joke. We know the ashtray joke, buddy. We know the ashtray joke. I'm just gonna say here right now. We're not gonna tell the ashtray joke. We don't need to tell the ashtray joke. Everyone gets the ashtray joke. We all get it. We don't need to go there.
I heard that joke in Germany. Just telling you.
Fine. That's cool.
I'm really happy I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We'll tell you later.
So I feel pretty good about that.
tell you
don't
later.
have to. I'm enjoying
We'll tell you later when we're out smoking.
Right. Yeah. Oh my lord.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's fucking. But it is a funny
Welcome
thing
to the
'cause you think,
500
okay,
That's the one at the Patreon $100 level.
You get the joke.
you get that joke.
It costs $9.
It is funny as hell when you think about, okay, Guzzi started in 1921, right? We know that. Benelli started in 1911. So Benelli started in 1911. Guzzi started in 1921. Motorini started in 1937, right? So these guys are all World War I into World War II almost, right? The magical thing is we don't carry a single bike. Piaggio started in like 1882. They're super old. The Vespa came out in 1946, post-war, right? That was, leftover airplane parts.
Yeah.
But it's fucking crazy when you think about how military inspired all those motorcycles are, because each and every one of those motorcycle companies was building for the war effort, but not as much as BMW.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's built for the war effort like BMW did, because if it flied, if it crawled, if it did anything, BMW was right there.
But
I think we outlasted everybody on the chat.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Got all
cool.
quiet.
That's fine. They're cool. They're having a good time.
we don't deal with them.
Yeah. I would not want to go into that game about just how fascist is your motorcycle company?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because you're
Everyone's favorite drinking game.
All I'm saying is Moto Marini's,
I'm saying is everybody out there.
their logo.
dude,
All I'm saying is
the
everybody out
Guzzi
there.
logo is no slouch either.
Yeah.
Right there. I will say the Marini logo has got that extra lean towards Starship Troopers. Like it's got the extra, just the little extra, for the Vaterland. It's just got that little extra
If only Mitsubishi still made scooters.
Adler.
Oh,
Well, there's an idea. All right. Since we're going for the little axis thing here.
Powers.
They were going to, but somebody trademarked the name Zero.
From Nick, yay! Nick for the win! Hey.
Oh, that's great. Look at that copyright.
to the plate.
Copyright. Zero.
Nice.
Mitsubishi's like, fuck, we were going to do that. We had the artwork done. We had a big red circle on the side and everything. It was going to be great.
Oh, it's the Tora.
That was the new Mitsubishi Zero and the Tora model.
Do you know how cool that paint scheme would fucking look, though, man? Dude.
Oh, I'm just
The rising
immediately
sun.
going instantly for and the new luxury Divine Wind.
Isn't that
too soon?
Isn't that Chinese motorcycle though that you all tested with that had like the horseshoes on the back of it and the
Oh,
automatic
that big heavy V8 thing?
No, that was the Regal Eagle. No,
the Regal Raptor.
Regal Raptor.
you're talking about the red thing with
They
the,
could, dude. They
the
would have
tractor
done.
shifter.
They would have done better with the Regal Eagle. They could have gone head to
I
head with
literally
Harley.
just thought you were going to say Regal Rapper. And I was just going to be like, oh, that would be great.
He's a rapper and a therapist.
He's a Regal Rapper. He's riding a giant Chinese bike.
Sean O'Hara wants to know Barn Owl tomorrow.
Barn Owl tomorrow.
Barn owls.
We're there from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m.
it's
Sean,
me.
if you want to show up. If you want to, it's tomorrow's Friday. So
Burp Friday.
be fantastic.
I think Chris Smith is done.
He's taking a time out.
I
Great.
just have a little indigestion.
Oh, there you go.
You need to
Go upstairs and get some Tums.
you need to put some nuts around the
I've got
shop.
some Zantac if you need it, Chris.
Lure in some squirrels.
There are some squirrels. Oh yeah, we'll be trapping. We'll be literally like free nuts, and just be like some very angry bird in there, just being like, because that is true. When somebody plays Angry Birds, they don't expect to actually have fucking Angry Birds.
That's
And when we play Angry Birds at Cleveland Moto, there might be Angry Birds.
I mean, the squirrels were trying to hotwire your truck.
They were all up in the guts of my truck. I know one of these times I'm going to turn that truck on, and it's going to be the sound of squirrels getting just like fed into the fan. Whatever noise that is, it's going to be fucking bad. We did learn that squirrels do chirp. They
Oh God, they got angry.
They got angry. They were straight up yelling at us.
Scallopini.
Marini Scallopini.
The Marini Oh, Motosmith bringing fire.
That is a good
Marie Scalapini. I love that.
So year 2.
We should be writing these down because these are better names than the marketing department's ever come up with. Meanwhile,
6.5 is the Pangul.
Okay, so Benelli,
I'd like the cacciatore and the scallopini.
Hey, did you get any pre-orders?
My favorite, the lasagna.
Did you get any pre-orders for the chinchilla?
No, that was my point. Okay. It's like, you notice how we've had not one fucking phone call about the chinchilla.
No.
I could have sold another Calibro bagger, but they can't get me one. So the guy was going to trade in his Benelli and get a Calibro bagger, a really good customer, but he's like, dude, I got to take my deposit back if we're not going to have any Calibro baggers until like June or July, which is what they're saying right now. I was like, get a Calibro non-bagger, and then when the Calibro baggers come in, we'll do a little switcheroony, right? We'll do something cool. And
Well, it
he's
can't
like,
be that hard to put everything on it.
no, we're not doing that.
Oh, well.
We're going to change the bikes. You know,
well.
we're going to actually change the units so he can be out riding something.
Yeah.
And then we'll swap it around and we'll call that one a demo, right? Because I've done that before. So he's like, no, I'm just going to get my money back and whatever. I just don't want to be tied into this until mid-July or who knows what the tariff's going to be when that happens.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weird game too.
Oh, it is.
So it made me sad to be
I'm
that
buying
way.
a drone real quick.
Buying a drone right now, right?
Yeah, meow.
Yeah, right meow. Sean O'Hara, $2 for the zero joke. Nick's earning. Nick has earned. The Patreon is paying off. Our guest Nick is literally
Out on the corner.
bringing fire.
You've approved Phil's girlfriend level because you're
that?
earning for
You're
him.
earning for me. That's right.
Phil Stable.
Right. What you're earning for me. Yes, you're earning for me. That's great. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But I felt bad. I was like, oh man, I'd really like to get a bagger, but the baggers are sold out.
He was staring super hard at that Chrome V7 though.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not gonna lie.
He was crawling all
He
up
was
in
like,
that. Yeah.
maybe I should change my opinion here.
So, do you remember when we were speaking with the guys?
But he didn't want a chinchilla.
No,
And he did not want a Napoleon Bob.
Well, that's what I was about to say. So, like, do you remember when we were speaking? And the fine
Do you
gentleman,
remember when we were
nice
speaking
guy.
to them with a straight face?
And no, but we were both saying
John was
like
in the
the
background
name
telling him
is
how either banner was.
the name is a little harsh. You know, like it's going to be hard to take. Do you think that they're really kind of pissed off that they allowed that dude? Like, because that's a good looking bike. The thing that sucks is they're really nice looking bikes,
They're nice
man.
looking bikes. The problem is those guys that were sitting in the booth, they've got to be company men, right? If you're going to be in that booth and you're going to be doing what you're doing, they're commission-based people, whatever, they're wearing the shirt, right? They got to sit there. And two things. One, it's not branded as a Benelli. So fuck you. It's branded as a Benda. Well, that is the first problem. Because unless the next word is Rodriguez, you do not have my attention.
Or Bender. They could have done better with Bender and just left it at fucking Futurama reference.
That's why I said Rodriguez.
Bender Rodriguez. It shoots fire out the exhaust.
Right. Bite my shiny metal ass.
That was his last name was Rodriguez?
Yes, Bender Rodriguez.
Fuck, I learned something new today.
You learned two things today.
Ah.
Nutrification and Bender Rodriguez. Good news, everybody. Sleepy's learning things in the podcast.
The more you know.
Now,
Learned things.
the joke is like we're sitting there and you had your camera rig going. I'm sitting on their brand new TRK 702 motorcycle that they're trying desperately to get me to buy. And you know what happened? We started talking about those fucked up cruisers. And we started talking about the Chinchilla and the Napoleon Bob. Great bikes. I'm sure they're awesome. The downside is I can't sell something called Chinchilla and I cannot sell something called Napoleon Bob.
No.
Unless there's a Napoleon Doug to go with it. In which case, we might get some weird Great White North action. Right? Which would be super cool and fun, and I'm all about that.
That'd be a good horn.
It would be a great horn, right? Exactly. But to sit there and be able to go, but you really should order this, and just not go like, yeah, and I'm wearing a company shirt, so I got to say nice things, so whatever. But the point is,
Phil,
nobody's going to buy that shit.
you never have to say nice things.
I tend to not.
Don't ever.
I believe that
You know what?
brevity is the soul of wit.
But you do say nice things.
Occasionally.
You're a pretty square dude, man.
You know,
I am a pretty square dude, John. I'm a very square dude.
I love you, man.
In fact, dude, if I want to buy your motorcycle, you've done something wrong.
you know, you look really good on that scooter.
Yes.
You should buy this one.
You
You look amazing.
You know what? Not too many people can get away with a hat like that.
I don't tell anybody this, but you're a pretty square dude.
The fedora conversation.
The fedora conversation.
Oh.
Yeah. I said, beware of any man who wears a fedora.
Sarah learned a thing that day.
And Sarah was like, I like fedora, whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
I love you, man.
I love you. Oh, John's getting into his weepy lovey bud.
I like this, John.
Should we release these people from this podcast?
Yeah, because the Bourbon Fairy is going to pop out.
I'm about to say, we're about to hatch a bourbon fairy. Yeah, that is real. That can happen.
Oh, man.
All right. So anybody else got anything else?
Nope.
I think Chris was out of jokes from last week.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note, ride fast and take chances. Place out here, Johnny.
Wow, 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 wow,
Eject for the 500th time.
Hit the red button.
Hit the red button. Get us out of here, Sleepy. Eject. God damn. Okay. First of all, I hope everybody chokes on those fucking horns.
Oh my God, best thing I ever purchased.
Oh my God. Oh, fucking hell. Do you know, like, if you ever thought they were bad, listen to them through headphones. Amplified. Yeah. It's the only thing that